Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, look, it's a little dead meme.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. It's me, Chris Reagan, and I'm here as always with Derek Blackman, Some Black Guy, and Tom Sweeney. And we're here once again with another episode of, whatever the hell this is. You guys seem to like it. Quick thing before we get into it. I thought it would make more sense to start doing this at the beginning of the show instead of at the end of it. This podcast is entirely supported by the viewer on patreon.com/thesnarktank. So go over there if you like what you hear, and throw us $1 or $2, and get yourself some early episodes. Figure I might as well shill early on because, I figure, anybody who's listening to the podcast anybody who gets to the end probably definitely already knows that,
Good point. Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a decent amount of stuff to talk about. Before we started, while we were going through the list of things to talk about, there are a couple things, right? We had the Mario movie and the whole fallout from the casting and all that shit. We had, and we were talking about Anya Taylor-Joy, who is, from Queen's Gambit, a show that I have not seen. I don't know anything about Queen's Gambit.
I haven't watched it either.
I haven't seen it. I just know the actress. I've seen her, and I just said she's fucking hot or something. I said something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I commented, of course you think she's hot. She's a snow princess, which Derek seems to be very, very attracted to the forbidden food of the white woman. So
I had to interject. Because I've made a video about this because our relationship only goes back a few years. And so it's like, sure, y'all don't know my catalog, of whom I've dated. And so Sweeney was like, have you dated like a dark skinned woman? I have. Yeah, yes, I have.
I haven't.
Yeah, you haven't.
You're
the only one. Man.
You're the only one of the three of us who haven't.
I've dated black women, but I haven't dated a dark skinned woman. I've dated black women before. There's a difference.
I've dated two that were fairly dark. I'm actually a big. I like very dark skin. Actually, it's just I like hot women in general. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just like if you are aesthetically pleasing, what's up? I don't.
I've realized as I've gotten, because for a long time I was like not into white girls. And then I dated a bunch of white girls, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm still not into white girls."
That doesn't make sense.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, if someone's attractive, they're just attractive, Like that's
sure.
just
That's typically that's typically the rule.
So where did it go from here? What did Sweeney say? He said something ridiculous. Oh, he asked. Okay, you asked. Did I at least sleep with her? Okay. A little bit about, because all I said was I started explaining one of the dark-skinned women that I dated, and then I said that it ended badly or whatever because she was like a rich piece of shit. It was just a bad dynamic. And you asked, did I sleep with her at least? And it's like, no shit, we were dating. And what did you say to that?
Not always that people are dating, do they sleep with each other, Not you. And Chris is like, oh, you sleep with them before you start dating.
Yeah.
And I was like, not always.
Yes.
No.
Pretty much every circumstance that I can recall in my entire life with me and with everybody I know, that's the case.
Not everybody. No, not everybody.
Who do you know? Who do all of us know who they date before they sleep together? What is that?
I'm pretty sure Joe did.
What? With who?
His last girlfriend.
I don't think that's true.
I know a lot of people that do that. I know a lot of people that do that.
Look,
that doesn't sound real.
That's not a real thing unless you're in
me, dude. You guys are gonna say I sound stupid, look, and the people in the chat are gonna be like, I've never slept with someone, but my friend who slept with someone.
Look, listen. If you're in the 5th grade, obviously. You're gonna be dating somebody before. You know what I mean?
I have not exactly lived by that rule, but but it happens.
I can't imagine a circumstance
it's-
unless you're literally like an adult dating the person that you've dated since you were like literally children. Like that's the only possible circumstance that I can imagine that.
It happens, bro. Trust me.
I'm sure it happens for stupid reasons.
Fairly often.
I'm sure there's people that make up stupid rules from themselves and like, we need to be in a committed relationship before I give myself to you. And it's like, well, that's stupid because what if the sexual relationship is horrific, and then you're like, never mind, I'm out of here, because that is clearly an important part of the relationship, unless you're waiting till marriage or something. You know what I mean? Like the one stipulation is like, well, I'm waiting till marriage, and it's like, all right, I guess you guys are gonna find out when you get married. Besides that, what's the reason to do that? What's the reason?
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that crazy. Because some people just like, I want to at least, because like a lot of like, usually ladies, they go through this point where like I slept with a lot of guys. They're like, I want to wait and at least see if this guy's worth me. It's going and sleeping with him, Because because sex isn't the same for men and women. Like it's just not. It's not the same exact like value. So some girls are like, I'm going to wait until this person is shown worth of me being with them.
I think that's setting yourself up for failure.
I think it's like, I'm kind of indifferent with it. I don't exactly care. But there's a lot of people that think like that, and I'm not championing either side. I'm like, whatever.
No, you're just stating that it's real, which I still, the jury's still out on that.
I'm sure it's real. I just don't think it's as popular as you think.
I think it's fairly popular, dude. I know girls that were like fucking guys left and fucking right, and then now every guy they date, they make them wait like 6 months, and the guys tend to cheat on them. But that might not be correlated,
That's
I don't know.
That might not be correlated.
That might not be correlated. I don't know exactly.
Listen, people let's just say there's some people that practice this.
Oh my God, here we go.
Y'all need to understand biology and survival. We are made to breed.
Oh my God.
Survival.
It's
like
not even
sex
that.
is
It's
surviving.
not even like that anymore. It's not even like that anymore.
What do you mean it's not even like that? That is literally a part of our fucking DNA.
It's a part of our DNA,
The reason why we feel pain, the reason why we smell terrible smells is for survival. Everything evolves for us to survive. The reason why fruit tastes so good is because it's fatty, so we can eat it, consume it, and store fat so we don't starve. It's all about survival.
Derek, yes. But what happens is not that simple, because we don't live for survival anymore. We've kind of evolved.
It doesn't matter whether we live for it or not. Our bodies are still engineered that way. How come our senses haven't changed yet?
Our senses haven't. No, they have. They've altered. They're not. They're nowhere near as acute as they used to be. That's why humans suck at everything
over a long
sense-wise.
time. But everything that's normally geared towards survival, like smelling bad smells, stocking up on fatty foods, having
mating,
the urge to breed, is still here prominently.
But what happens is that we have people who are gay, and they literally don't
What the
fit
fuck
into
does
that
that-
portion.
what does that mean?
No.
What does that mean?
Listen, dude. We're like survival.
Gay people
like,
are still horny.
But
Gay people wanna fuck.
let me explain. We're not
please.
We're not as simple as like it's for survival. Like not everything we do is for survival. That it's instinctual. No, it's not philosophical. That's evolutionary.
Yes, you are.
It is.
Oh my
We're
God!
Just not as it's not as like
that's you're being
it
fucking.
Is. Derek,
Give me an example of it being something different than survival, evolutionarily.
Evolution. Okay, if a man. Okay, now I'm not against this. Before anyone gets crazy and says something like, "Oh, he's anti this," I'm not. But what happens is, survival. Living creatures mate, right?
Yes.
Like things made to procreate, to continue on, what is it called, like fitness, whichever thing is the most fit in X amount of terms will have most children, and then that'll pass on his genes, and then they'll mutate in other things that can or cannot be adaptive and then used to further whatever kind of species it is. That is how evolution works, right? But then when you throw in like wrenches, like things like, oh, well, this thing's not exactly attracted to the same sex as it. It's just like, oh, well, that's different from the idea of us surviving and being the most fit creatures and doing that. It's like, it still exists. It's still prominent, but that it being there, it's no like, there's no reason in the bigger evolutionary game of it being there. It's there and it exists.
See, what you're saying, it's still, my point still stands with the outliers. Say a gay person who can't actually breed. If they, say, if they don't have the desire to breed, if they don't want to say a guy doesn't want to have sex with a woman, pass on his genes, he still has the urge to want to mate. That's why he bangs pussy.
And there's some people that don't even want to do that. People that don't even want to have sex. That's a real thing, which blows my mind.
You're talking about the outliers, which do not outweigh the vast majority of people who want to spread their seed for survival purposes.
They don't outweigh, but they exist. That's the thing. So you can't just say like,
no one's denying that they don't exist. What the hell are you talking about, Sweeney?
I'm just
that
letting
isn't
you
even
know
the point
that
of this
they
conversation.
exist.
That's not the point of this conversation.
All I'm saying is that not everyone is gonna want to just throw out fucking pussy or dick. You know, some people want to wait.
The entire point of this conversation is that the number of people who don't want to bang before, like that, they're like, I want to get into a committed relationship, then bang, is a much smaller number than the vast majority of people who don't want to do stupid shit like that, because it's just extremely and unnecessarily complicated. Usually ends up in disastrous because of, and what I was saying before, the urges that we have, especially men, that why all men are pigs or whatever, is because we're wired that way to want to, you see a chick bending over and you're like, your brain just goes there. You're like, you just have that moment where you're like,
not exactly for me. I'm like, oh, that person's bending over. I'm not like, oh man, I wouldn't mind shoving a few babies up that bitch. That's not exactly
you're going too far with that. I'm just saying, or a flash of a thought. A flash of a thought. I'm not talking about where you're like, you just turn into a dog and immediately just want to fucking just rip her fucking clothes off and
just
shit.
salivating. But I think it's
barking
common,
at her
dude.
and shit.
It's common. I think it's disappearing in younger people. Obviously.
I think it's actually the other way around. I think younger people are trying stupid shit. I think that's what it is. I think I think that a lot of people, there was always the high school and stuff where people would date and they would go steady and whatever, and they're not banging because people just, for a period of time, there was that whole 50s era type where people were being all super conservative, like the typical stereotype and stuff. They were all doing this weird thing and torturing themselves. And then after a while, people were like, that's stupid. Why torture ourselves? Why not, start hanging out, start hooking up. Oh, you know what, dude? Everything's good. We're on the same page on everything. We should definitely start dating.
I feel like the whole Tinder thing really, I think the second Tinder happened, it was like, oh yeah, no, people are just throwing whatever the fuck around at this point. And then because that's even friends of ours, they met people on Tinder and they would hook up and then they would date. It's not a super uncommon thing. It's actually pretty, everywhere, especially now.
Let's say for Sweeney's argument that it's what he's saying is much more common than we think. I personally still think that's really fucking stupid. I think it just unnecessarily complicates things. It is you putting your human urges on hold and just pissing your partner off, yourself off, because it's just all you're doing. You're building up tension that wants to be released, and it's making your hormones fucking crazy, guy or girl. All it does is unnecessarily complicate
things. I'll say
this.
as an adult, there's no way in hell I'm gonna date somebody for 6 fucking months and then not have been having sex already. It's just that's not
crazy.
Happen.
It's just
inconceivable to me that anybody
fucking
would be
torture.
It's not about
it's not painful.
It's not about it being torture. It's just about basic come on, dude. What is making us not friends right now? It's literally the only thing that makes me not your friend.
It is because your best friend, you're hanging out, you're doing everything.
If we're doing literally everything together, right? But we're not having sex, you're just a really good friend of mine. It's not dating, really. It's just there's no distinguishing factor between that and just you're being a friend.
I would say my girlfriend is my best friend, but
you guys are banging.
But
if your girlfriend was not sleeping with you, would she be? Is that your girlfriend then?
Yeah, but
no, it's just your best friend.
Sweeney, do you think you guys, honestly, do you think you would have survived this long without having any sexual relationships with your
I
girlfriend.
mean, we don't. We're
Kingston, you've been together. You've been with Lily for 5 years. If she
we're
hasn't,
not though.
Hold on.
What are you?
What?
What are you saying? What are you
We're
saying?
not. We have
Shut the
a
fuck
very
I want to hit you so hard.
You're the worst. Anyway, so Mario.
And we've never even thought about doing that together.
I wish I was Negan and you were that fucking Asian guy right now. Like I really, I want
right.
that.
Well, we don't need to get racist.
Speaking of
racism, Mario.
Yeah. So Mario, this whole thing got sparked over fucking Anya Taylor-Joy. So Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Princess Peach in this Mario movie, right? And the rest. So they announced the cast at this Nintendo. By the way, if you see my eyes darting around, it's because there's like a singular fly in here, and it's like, it's catching my ape brain. But they announced the cast to the Mario movie at a Nintendo Direct, right? Which is not something that I anticipated. I didn't even bother watching the thing. Were you watching it live, Sweeney, or?
I streamed it, yeah. It was
What the hell did they even do? What did they like? Oh, Zelda 6 is coming in 40 years.
What
did they do?
There was no Zelda information, actually.
It was like 200 things of anime, right? Like anime fucking video games.
It was anime sword shit. It was like,
they showed some cool stuff. They're bringing Ocarina.
They showed SNES stuff.
They're doing Ocarina of Time. They're Bayonetta 3. Like they had some stuff, but they showed the cast of the Mario movie, and it was like the strangest thing I think I've ever. I actually like audibly laughed at a presentation for the first time in probably like a really long time. Do you remember, Sweeney, when we were doing the E3 party at my house here in New York?
Fucking the guy with the guy from Unraveled?
Yeah, Unraveled. This dude at E3 was up on stage with like a yarn doll of like the main character, and it zoomed in on his hands, and he was shaking like a hadron collider, and he was like
so
just
shaking like fucking Michael J. Fox, bro. He was fucking vibrating.
That was the last time. That was the last time that I laughed that hard at a live presentation ever in my life, and it was when they unveiled the cast for the Mario movie at this Nintendo Direct. And it is as follows. I'm sure the internet knows already. Chris Pratt as Mario. Charlie Day as Luigi.
I'm happy for that, dog. Like I like that, but continue.
Jack Black as Bowser. Look, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. I don't know. It's not even that it's like a particularly like...
Was Toad always like a brother? Was that
no? Okay,
is
so
that canon?
First of all, I should say this is an animated movie.
Yes, it's not a live action rendition.
Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? They just put gloves on and fucking shit. Like, oh, it'd be so good.
I can't imagine Keegan-Michael Key as like a mushroom-headed man. But so the cast is just it's a weird cast. Like whatever, but. I think Jack Black is fine. Jack Black can play like pretty much whatever he fucking wants. Like Bowser, like who fucking like I don't know. There's no interesting thing about Bowser really. And honestly, to be real, there's not really anything interesting about any of these characters. These are just video game characters that are just iconic in design. They're
just mortal.
They have like
the best. They have the best designs. Proper. They have like such iconic games. Like they're just
they
just persist.
They're logos really. They're not characters. So you could do whatever the fuck you want with them. I'm not that offended by it or anything, but I do think it's just hilarious that they went like, who should we get to play Super Mario in a movie, an Illumination movie, by the way. These are the Despicable Me people that are animating this fucking thing. So it's probably it's gonna be a mess. But the first thing they thought was Chris Pratt.
Yeah, what Star-Lord.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't I don't know. You understand like how this is like a problem where like Chris Pratt is just going to be doing like a Mario impression the whole time?
I think he's just going to be like just talking around, sort of, I guess, Chris Pratt.
But
I don't think he's going
to
hold
be.
On.
But don't you understand?
That would be so weird.
But see, this is the issue. The issue with this is this cast would actually make a lot more sense to me if this was a live action movie, because you're not gonna find like a 3 foot tall, like unorthodox, like wide loaded, like small Italian man. But so you might as well just get Chris Pratt to play like a stereotypical Italian plumber. But if it's just going to be animated anyway, and it's going to be in the style of Mario anyway, why not just get the voice actor for Mario to play him?
Because it's Hollywood. No, it's literally because of Hollywood.
Obviously, it's that. But also, the voice actor from Mario is gonna be like, "Oh no, Mama!" I mean, like that's he doesn't. He's never spoke like he said.
But you don't
like,
think it's gonna be you don't think it's gonna be jarring?
He needs that.
It's weird. It's to make a Mario movie in the first place is just kind of fucking weird.
Yes,
you know. But him being like a character voiced by Chris Pratt is like, it's fine, like whatever.
You're misunderstanding the problem, I think. The issue is it is going to be like uncanny as hell to see. It is to see the Mario that we've seen for decades, the same exact character design, the same exact style, to see that character all of a sudden go from wahoo to Chris Pratt, like just speaking, his voice coming out of that animated character is going to be very bizarre.
So you for sure think he's not going to put on like a stereotypical Mario accent? You don't think he's going to do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like he has to, or it's going to be so jarring.
I just don't care. Like, I just like, whatever. The only thing that bothered me out of all this, like everybody was complaining, and one of our good friends, Veronica, had a breakdown about this because she really cares about this character. But Donkey Kong being voiced by Seth Rogen was the only thing I was like, that kind of sucks, you know, like that.
Wait, that's actually happened? Is that real?
So I did forget.
That's real?
I forgot that.
Yeah, it's real. Like he's like,
really, that's happening?
I'm gonna play the drums.
I'm Donkey Kong. You want some weed, Mario?
You want some bananas? You want some bananas, Diddy?
You want some
smoke
weed,
all the
bananas?
pot. The smoke pot.
I got plenty of edibles.
Are you Jewish?
Who's James Franco? Who's that? I've never met him.
Oh, you mean that rapist?
Was my friend for literally years, like 10 years. We made like 4 movies together. I definitely knew about that shit.
I want to see I hope the Mario movie is just a 2-hour long interview with Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and every time he laughs, it just progressively bass boosts to the point where it's just a fucking disastrous cacophony of hell. I don't know, man. I'm not upset or angry about it. Like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about Mario. Like, fucking.
It's just weird.
It's just weird. That's it's all just strange. And the thing that does bother me, the thing that I will say, the biggest actual complaint about this, and the biggest thing that actually does bother me, is because there are so many voice actors who are really good at voice acting, right? But instead, for some reason, this happens a lot with Illumination movies specifically. It's like Sing and fucking I don't know, Secret Life of Pets and Despicable Me. Instead of like finding these like really talented voice actors, of which there are a lot of, many of whom Sweeney, Derek, and I know, you know, like we know plenty of like really talented voice actors, and
Very
the fact
good
that
ones.
like these roles are just being handed to like, I guess fucking, I don't know, Chris Pratt can do it, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's just
it's Hollywood.
I understand why like certain communities are annoyed by it, because it is just this moment of just like, hey, this is a recognizable person, shove him into the movie. It's the same thing with fucking Beyonce in fucking what is it, Lion King, where it was like, why? She's ruining every song she's in because she's over singing and just being a complete show off, to the point where like that movie still makes me upset because it's like a first grader who just learned that they could sing at like a talent show, like completely trying to upstage everybody else. It's like, just don't stop trying so hard. You're fucking Beyonce. I don't know.
I saw it. It was a waste of time.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen any of the remakes because why? They're not going to be better.
I liked Aladdin. I stand by that. I liked Aladdin. It's not as good. It's not as good as the original one.
Well, that's how
but I
I
liked
feel.
Aladdin.
Like, why would I watch the discount version?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like you know it's not going to be good. It's like a remake of a video game. You give it a chance. You're like, oh, that's probably going to be better. It makes sense. You're updating some shit. This is a fucking downgrade. It's like, okay. Yeah, dude, but I totally agree with you. The whole fucking voice actor. It sucks. It sucks, but Hollywood's especially Mario, this movie's going to make a shitload of money because all the kids are going to fucking see it. It doesn't matter who the fuck is voicing it.
Oh, totally.
For example, I love watching The Rock's Instagram where in that movie Moana. Is it that? Moana?
Yeah.
And like
Moa?
he played I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but the god in that movie, The Rock
Maui.
plays it. Yeah, okay. And he tells his daughter, "Hey, look, it's Dad." Like, and she's like, "No." she's saying it's not him. Like it's his voice, but she's like, "No, I don't see you. It's not you. I don't give a shit." And I'm like, that's every kid ever. That's every kid. I just like the movie and what's happening.
I like colors. I don't understand concept. I don't understand anything. I'm dumb. I'm fucking stupid. That thing looks cool. It's bright.
Yeah.
So having Chris Pratt, having fucking Star-Lord, the parents are gonna, hey, look, this is Star-Lord. They're gonna be, that fucking Mario is not Star-Lord. Shut the fuck up, Mom.
It's
not gonna.
You raggedy bitch.
It's not even really like people with particularly noticeable, like there are some people with voices that you understand why, like if they're a celebrity, they're put into like a voice acting role. I think of people like Norm Macdonald.
Hamill.
I think of
Norm
people
Macdonald,
like Gilbert Godfrey.
Danny DeVito, man.
Yeah,
like,
Mark Hamill, obviously. Mark
Hamill,
of course.
like,
Mark Hamill that fucking does goddamn everything.
I would argue that Mark Hamill is more of a voice actor than an actor, but
I agree. I totally agree.
only argue against that because he is Luke Skywalker also.
You're right.
Like it's hard. But
you're not wrong, but I'm fairly certain he's been in more like voice roles than he has in live action.
110%.
And just iconic. I mean, fuck the god motherfucker's Batman, dude. I mean, Joker. What the fuck am I saying? In Batman.
Jack,
Joker, he
and
skips.
Jack Black is another one of those people who's like, he's done a really good job in like, because he's been in like video games like Brutal Legend and fucking like he's in Psychonauts right now. Like there are people like I understand, but and even back in the day when they were doing Disney movies, you know, you had Gilbert Godfrey like doing the parrot and like Robin Williams doing the genie. Like I understand, but most of the other actors were like, you know, they were voice people.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about like true thespians versus these people.
Yeah, I don't know.
These people that just happen to be famous.
Yeah.
Like that's like the big difference. The people that went to fucking Juilliard versus Charlie Day. Like Charlie Day. I don't no hate on Charlie Day, but I think he has one of the most annoying voices in the universe.
I think that's
like
why
Charlie
he's gonna be
Day.
fantastic. I think he's gonna be fantastic.
Pacific Rim. I love that movie. I love Del Toro. I love fucking
Charlie Day's in that
kaijus.
movie?
Yeah, he is.
Yes. And as much as
For
I like
some
Charlie,
reason.
anytime he's on this screen, you know, chewing it up, I like want to plug my ears. As much as I love It's Always Sunny, I love his character, but it's still like his voice. I'm like, ugh.
You can't
It's just
have
too-
a full episode of just Charlie. You know,
I love Charlie because I love how fucking frantic and panicked he is.
I like him.
I
His
love that
voice is just-
character about him.
Sounds like a bullhorn. It sounds like the DJ horn to me. Like that. It gives me that type of cringe.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh. Like,
yeah,
come on,
it's
dude.
definitely like a
stop.
little bit of the meme horn going on, but I don't know. But speaking of the Mario movie, some people have wrote in about it.
Let's hear it.
Jimmy
Hey.
Bob James wrote in. He says, "Hello, Chris,
Good name.
Black, and Torture. Given the insanity that was the Mario movie casting, by the way, the fly keeps flying around the light, and I keep imagining it's going to get right up into the lens, and it's going to do that butterfly thing from that SpongeBob episode.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, just whispers into the camera. But he wrote in, he says, given the insanity that was the recent Mario movie casting, who would you all cast as the characters for any video game movie adaptation of your choice? Since obviously whatever decision made here will be better than that garbage fire for casting. I stand by Jack Black. I think he would do a good job.
I don't think it's a bad casting. I just don't think it's like
it's a perplexing casting.
I just don't care. I just don't care enough, but I guess we'll see.
Let's recast this movie right now.
Okay, Mario, instantly Danny DeVito off the top.
Well,
off top, Danny DeVito.
I
Danny
love
DeVito.
it. I love it, but I would rather have him do like Toad or something. I'd rather have him do this.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
I
think Danny DeVito would make an excellent Toad.
Like, hey,
Oh
I'm the
my
fucking
God.
Toad. Fuck you, bitch.
It
Like,
should
I
be
don't know.
Sylvester Stallone as Peach. Hey Mario, I've been taken again, and I need your help to come get me. There's a bunch of bad guys here. You gotta
That's
jump
so
on
stupid.
some Goombas.
I baked you a cake. Come by the kiss.
Okay, so now, so
Joe
what we got?
Pesci as
Fucking
Mario.
Mario. Oh my!
Joe Pesci as Mario. Just
You Jew
fucking-
motherfucker, you! You fucking peach motherfucker!
You motherfucking bitch, you piece of shit.
I look like
Am
a
I
plumber to
funny to
you?
you?
I look like a plumber to you?
I'm funny to you. I'm a comedian to you, huh?
Dude,
How
that
am
would
I funny?
that is instantly this is better, by the way. Danny
Oh,
DeVito. Danny DeVito is Toad. Rocky fucking Balboa, I forget his real name. As Princess
so
Peach.
this is
Stallone.
As what's his face? Danny DeVito
Oh
is
my
Toad.
god.
Joe
know who'd
Pesci
be
is Mario.
best?
Peach.
Huh?
Jackie Chan as Luigi.
Who? Jackie Chan is Luigi.
Yeah,
Oh my
Luigi.
fucking
Come
god.
on, man.
That'd
Come
be
on,
great.
man.
He'd be like Mario. I have no clue how you do this, Mario. I am
Mario,
very confused.
Uncle, where's my uncle?
Mario,
Yeah, we
Mario,
have to say my uncle.
Mario, how we gonna jump up so high, Mario? Mario, we need Yoshi, Mario. Mario, we need Yoshi.
Who's Yoshi?
Just
Who's
rude.
Yoshi?
Yoshi.
Hold on, think about it. Don't
Who-
just impulsively say
who
it.
as Yoshi would be like fucking Keith David
Yes.
as Yoshi.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Keith
And he
David
would
is Yoshi.
sometimes slip up and say Arbiter lines because Arbiter's
Hop on,
pretty much a
Mario.
dinosaur too.
Hop on top of me, Mario. We need to go.
That would
Kill me
Let
or
us-
release me, I mean, Yahoo! Wah, 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 wah. He says spawn lines sometimes.
God
No,
damn,
Bozo,
I'm
you
loving this
dirty
cast. All we need,
nigga.
I
I mean,
Bowser and Donkey Kong are left.
Donkey
We still-
Kong.
we gotta change everybody.
Donkey Kong. I want. I think maybe Seth Rogen. No. Maybe. I want Weird Al in there somewhere, just because I think that'd be confusing.
Weird Al, nah.
Not as Donkey Kong. I wanted. There's got to be some music character in there.
He should
right?
be. He doesn't have an iconic enough voice. I feel like.
Weird Al. Absolutely.
Let's
He's,
not-
he's,
What
he's,
if we just?
he's voice acted in a lot.
I don't know him in many things, but like
He had like a Disney show.
who has a distinct enough voice?
Um,
Not Kanye. Jay-Z
No,
could
what?
be Donkey Kong.
Jay-Z.
Out here
I
playing
don't
the
know.
drums and shit.
We can't have any. We can't have any black people be fucking Donkey Kong. It's
Okay,
just not gonna
whatever,
work.
whatever.
It's not gonna work. People
Yeah,
are gonna get really mad.
my first thought was
Oh,
Kevin Hart.
Russell Crowe
Russell
with his
Crowe.
fucking Irish, his fucking Australian accent as a monkey,
As fucking.
as Donkey Kong. He'd be like,
No,
he'd be
no,
like,
oh my God, Mads
Hello,
Mikkelsen,
I'm Donkey
dude.
Kong.
Mads Mikkelsen would be
Who's that
fucking
again?
perfect because he's threatening. He's a threatening person. Have you ever seen Casino Royale?
I have
Yeah,
not.
He's
oh,
the
I
bad
know
guy in
exactly who you're
Casino
talking about. I
Royale.
know exactly who you're talking
He's in
about.
Death
That guy is
Stranding.
no,
that guy's
you know what it
badass.
should be. You
That
know what it
guy's
should be.
badass.
And he should
You're
be
right.
speaking in like Austrian or whatever the fuck language.
No, it should be what's his name? Christoph Waltz
Yes,
as Donkey Kong.
there
That'd
he is.
be perfect.
There he is. Christoph Waltz as Donkey Kong.
With his German ass accent. You see, Fairline Bleach. I can't do German accents.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
don't
do
do
that.
that. You fucked up by trying.
My brain doesn't know how to
Now
get there.
Bowser. Bowser. We need a Bowser.
All right, let's see.
Zach.
Okay, so okay,
Zach.
we're no, hold on.
Psychic
Hold
Memos.
on.
Psychic Memos as Bowser.
Oh,
You tell me that's not hilarious?
That's all right.
I mean, that is pretty great. I think we're gonna have to solidify it. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I think we're
So,
gonna have to
making
all right,
sounds.
all right. All right. So just to recap, we have Joe Pesci as Mario. We have Rocky Balboa as Princess. Sylvester Stallone as I keep forgetting his name as Princess Peach. Luigi was who?
I forgot. Holy
Who
shit!
is he? Luigi was Who was he?
Oh, wait, no, I forgot. Holy shit! I completely forgot.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is Luigi. We have Zach Hadel as Bowser.
Oh my god.
We have Keith David as Yoshi.
Yes.
Who do we have as Toad? I forgot who we had as Toad. Oh, Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
And
Just saying some uncut
that's
shit,
the
dude.
cast.
Oh, we forgot Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. Christoph Waltz as Donkey Kong.
That's right.
There
that's
you go.
right.
That's our
right.
cast. I think we did a better job than they did, but we'll let the audience decide. And by the way, feel free to play this game yourself. This is fun. This is cool.
Yeah.
There's like
my
a million
God.
permutations of this that you could have.
Keith
And I'm here
David
for all of
as Yoshi.
That's fucking, dude, I would see that movie so fucking fast. You have no idea.
If
no
it just says
idea.
Keith David, I watch it. I watched Tales from the Crypt 2 because Keith David was
Just
in it.
because
That movie's dog shit, dude.
I
I
heard
remember someone DM me like, "Hey, did you know Keith David said nigga in Tales from the Crypt?" And I'm like, "Hey, thanks for that information, man."
That's
Just
important.
A random fucking tweet.
that's important information, I think.
I
But
love hearing Keith David
was-
say nigga. It's hilarious.
The
It's good.
he did a movie with Shane Dawson too that I never
I
watched.
watched
because,
it. I watched it.
Did you watch
It's
it?
terrible. I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious. I watched it.
Wait,
terrible.
I'm not being fucking trolled right now.
No, this
I
is real.
watched it.
It was like called Smiley or something, I think.
Yeah,
Or,
it was when Shane Dawson had a comb over and people didn't know he was gay yet. It was old school Shane Dawson. It was
They
like
didn't
2000.
know he
like,
was gay. You mean he didn't
I
come
mean,
out?
we-
I
knew
mean,
he didn't
people
come out.
didn't
That's what
admit
you
that
mean.
he was gay. That's what. That's
Okay.
what
people,
Okay.
including him.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, what do
exactly.
you? I
That's
mean, of
exactly,
course,
exactly.
Yeah, that people includes him. Obviously,
Yeah.
you don't think gay
I know,
people are people?
I know a person like that too. I grew up with a guy in high school where he was the gayest guy I knew, super cool, but he didn't come out till like, I don't know, in our 20s or something. And everyone was like,
Yeah.
"All right, good job, man."
You know a kid's. You can tell a kid's gay
For
when
the
they're like
most part, you can
9
tell.
years old. You know, like you can just tell. Like that's a gay child. You know,
For the
once
whatever.
I
most part,
figured
you
out
can
what
tell.
once I figured out what gay was, my second friend I ever made, this dude named Taylor. I didn't know what gay was when I was like in elementary school, and then when I learned about gay people and stuff, I'm like, oh, and then it clicked. And I'm like, my friend
Yeah.
fucking Taylor, that guy was different,
There-
and then he yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's some people that I can't quite pinpoint. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda, I have a feeling is gay, but like you know, I don't know exactly why.
He gave you a gay ping.
Something about it. I think it's the fact that he likes musicals enough to make them. That like kind of inherently like.
That means gay for you?
I mean, it doesn't exactly help the case.
There's some tropes that sometimes
I know,
you know.
damn well Prince was probably a little gay.
For
And
sure, yeah.
And everyone denies it because of how many girls he had. But I'm like, yo, it doesn't mean he wasn't.
That is
He was at the
that,
very least
slapping
bisexual.
asshole.
At the
he's
very least, that dude was
100% bisexual. At
He's
the
queer.
Least.
He's some sort of queer, definitely. Like
Yeah,
Did you know
You
that
can't deny
Marlon
that.
Brando banged dudes? Did you know that?
I did not.
wasn't he
know that.
homophobic too?
Huh?
Of course he was.
No, that was Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was homophobic and apparently might have been gay. And I was like,
think Marlon Brando banged Richard Pryor.
I think was it those two?
Yeah, I think that actually the real thing. Like
Everybody's-
it sounds fucking fake as shit. Like when you think about it, but like there's a lot of whispers, dude. And I learned anytime those whispers about like gay rumors and stuff, every single time it's true. Because I always thinking like, why are people talking shit? It was
Kevin
like
Bacon.
because like I don't pay attention. But like, say you in growing up, I would hear the tabloids say, "Ricky Martin's gay." The guy from NSYNC, Lance Bass.
Oh yeah, Lance.
I met
Bass.
him.
I'm like,
I met him
and
like
I was
3
like,
times.
everyone's like, "Oh, this is obvious," but I'm not paying attention to that shit. But then it's like, every time there's rumors, it's always fucking true.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
every
what are
time.
these people doing to get this
Yeah.
information? This
like
fucked
there,
up, man.
like there are all these rumors that like me, like that I'm a virulent racist.
And the tabloids, they never
And
miss.
the tabloids.
Dude. They never fucking miss.
They're right about you. You're fucking racist.
They never miss. You're fucking. I've seen you with dyed blonde hair or bleached or whatever, and I was like, "There's fucking the poster boy of Germany. There is Hitler's dream.
Yeah,
That's exactly what he wanted for his nation."
you should have
And
seen me
I
in
would see you-
you should have seen me in 1999 when that song "Blue Dabba Dabba Die" came out because I tried to make my eyes blue so I could be more
Did you?
superior. Yeah, I did.
I tried to make my eyes blue.
So apparently that's what that song's actually about. It's about like
blueberries.
the white
He
race.
rubbed his eyes.
It's the Blue Dabba Dee is a fucking ethno state song and shit.
Just
Like,
see,
if you
you
didn't know that.
guys know that. By the way, that band that is it a band if it's like a group of like electronica people, or is that like a group?
They play more than a boy bands. I mean, so I would say so.
Fair. That's a totally fair assumption. Eiffel 65, they wrote this. This is the same band that did, Blue Dabba Dee. They have a song that's just them listing like PlayStation 1 games.
My console.
Yeah.
My console.
The fuck
We're
is
gonna
that?
play the game, the PlayStation all day with Metal Gear Solid and Tekken 3 and to a mega. I know that whole fucking song, dude.
It's so terrible.
That was it's a horrible song. I will say the actual the instrumentals itself. I'm a fan of this shit. I grew up with Mortal Kombat soundtrack. I'm a fan of this shit.
It is
the
good.
song itself is fucking awful, but the instrumentals are actually, it's very like, I like this. The album actually is not that bad if you took out the fucking lyrics, dude. They're all bad.
If you took out everything that they're trying to say, it's a great album.
Everything.
If you
The
took
music
out
is
what,
solid.
if you took out what made it instrumentals, if you took out everything that turned it from a song to just instrumental beats,
Yeah,
then
it's
it'd be
very
great.
disrespectful to the singer, but like, it's
Yes,
100%
extraordinarily.
true.
I mean, that's he's got a terrible voice, that guy. There's
He's
I got it with a blue window. Like, he's just a guy. But I saw a tweet recently, like us talking about this is like reminding me. I think I retweeted it too, where it was like some guy going like, it was like this thread about There Will Be Blood or something, and it was like, what is a movie that everybody likes, but it's like, an actor's performance ruins it or something, and it's like Daniel Day-Lewis in what is it, There Will Be Blood or something.
There Will Be Blood?
Yeah. It was like that performance ruins the movie, and then somebody was like, if you take, the story and the acting and like the plot devices out of that movie, you have a pile of garbage.
The whole movie?
It's such a baffling take to say something like that. It's like, yeah, if you take away like the cheese and the sauce and the pepperoni on a pizza, all you're left was a pile of bread. Yeah.
Like,
That's how
sure.
That's how
deconstruction works.
Yeah,
that's how you strip something away from things.
that's literally
I don't
why.
even understand that answer in the first place, saying that Daniel Day-Lewis ruined it.
Let me see if I can find the tweet exactly.
I feel like
doesn't
no
he
one
make that
would've-
whole movie?
No one would watch There Would Be Blood if he wasn't in it.
Yeah, like if I'm trying to remember, is that a Western movie? There Will Be Blood?
Technically, it's not a
right.
Western.
Yeah, here it is.
Going to the West, but it's an oil rig movie. It's about oil. Go ahead.
It's an oil rig movie. I love that genre. Kyle Smith. It was a whole thing. So this verified account, Kyle Smith, he goes, "What universally adored film is not even good?" So I misremembered it a little bit. And someone said, Daniel Day-Lewis's acting aside, There Will Be Blood. So that person likes Daniel Day-Lewis. But somebody else was like, yep.
I see.
If you take away Lewis's performances, Dano's performance, the cinematography, the score, and the plot, you have nothing but a hot pile of garbage.
So take away the
You
entire
got set
movie.
pieces. That's all you got. You got set pieces left. And dialogue missing the main character. No. You said no dialogue. You have and random points of dialogue.
It's
That's a very cool move. That's a very cool tweet.
It's just, I hate
Very
that
cool.
criticism of just like, oh yeah, if you take away the thing that makes this thing, then it's no longer this thing. Like it's such a bafflingly common take. I feel like people just don't understand how to actually absorb media anymore. I feel like people are like, I'll just like watch a TikTok and that's the most I can handle or something.
I so often I go on Twitter and I have conversations about music, particularly hip hop music, the music that I actually like, I understand as well. And some of the things that people say about music, like literally blows my mind. I'm like, either people just listen to Fantano and they have their like entire perspective of like music in general from Andy Fantano, or they sit down and they hear shit and they just don't understand what they're hearing. And
No,
I'm
you
just
hit the nail on the head. You hit
I
the
was
nail
like,
on the head.
what the fuck
With
is wrong with you?
People get their takes from other people.
Yeah, totally.
That same thing that you said, Chris, is a parroted take that people don't even think about what the fuck they're saying.
No.
Because when you actually stop and think about it for a second, it's like, dude, I saw, and I don't mean to get political, but I just saw this fucking picture today of this little girl forced to wear a shirt and a mask that said "masks don't work." And I said the same thing. All I'm going to say is, if you examine that fucking statement and actually think about what the fuck you're saying, you'll be like, oh yeah, what the fuck am I even saying? And it goes for stupid criticisms of music where it's like, I think this. And it's like, where did you fucking hear that from? As much as I like Fantano, there's some takes that I think are fucking dog shit from him. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, sometimes he has terrible takes and somebody will say the same fucking thing, and I'm like, okay.
Reviewing music is inherently already kind of weird, you know, because sometimes people don't, because like, if someone doesn't have soul, they don't have a soul influence in their body, right? And you put on some like fucking like jazz, they're not gonna like it. Their brain, they won't be able to understand why it's good. You know, if someone doesn't understand chord progression and you put on fucking Viking metal and they're just like, oh, this sounds like noise, but in Skyrim, they're just not gonna get it. They don't understand. They don't understand music theory, or they don't understand like what the album is supposed to bring out of somebody. So like, it's just you can't really meet certain people in middle grounds with music. That's why people would critique music. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I put on something about Donda yesterday, and people were telling me like sonically Donda is not impressive. And I'm like, bro, sonically, Kanye is a genius. That is like his thing that people are like, he's good at that.
The problem with music is that like it is probably, and maybe this is like wrong, like literally speaking, but at least the way that I see it, or the way it feels to me, is that it is the most subjective type of entertainment, to the point where like, you know, because a movie, you know, you can watch a movie, right? And you can tell when there's like an edit that's like kind of out of place, or if there's like a misplaced, like if there's a flash of like another cut in the middle of a movie, you'll notice that's like a mistake. Everyone will notice that's a mistake. But if you like put like one extra drum beat in like the middle of a song that it doesn't go along with the beat, it's just like one just in there, 50% of people might not even hear that fucking thing. And the other 50% might be like hyper fixated on it, because like the way that people hear shit is way, way different than the way that people see things. We're more visual as like a species, I think, in general. Like we base more of our shit around visuals than we do around sound. So like the fact that like music reviewing is even a thing is like really confusing, because I've heard music that I hated when I was a kid that I like now, and vice versa. It's not really the same with movies. Like when the movies that I liked when I was a kid, I still like for different reasons, you know. But it's just a very different thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you could really review music.
It's the comprehension scale of it. A lot of people just don't comprehend what they absorb. Like, they're just sitting there and something is happening or going on the screen, and they see that or hear that. Excuse me, that was gross. But they don't actually, like, it's just playing and it's bouncing off the head, opposed to it, like, going into the head and being like, oh, this is what this is, opposed to, like, it not being. Well, that's what I thought about metal. I thought metal was just noise for years. I thought it was just noise. And then eventually I was just like, that person is playing a 7/4 fucking string right now. That's crazy. And then the person singing to that. Like, that's
crazy.
I mean, as soon as you understand,
we had this whole conversation with Jonathan when he was on the show, like literally about like, you know, just the subjectivity of music. But I do agree that like the worst thing on the internet, I think, aside from like, you know, like, I don't know, like pedophiles, is people who just repeat, like they might have the right opinion, but they have no idea why they have it, because they're just kind of copying it from someone. You know, this was a big thing in like 2010, like with like, do you guys remember?
Atheist enters fight. Atheist enters fight. Like
yeah, exactly.
The typical
like,
atheist with the hat on.
Like the early religious debates. Like you'd have people who were like, you know, I'm an atheist and God is stupid. And like people would ask them why, and they wouldn't be able to say why because they don't know why. They just happen to agree with someone or like somebody who has that opinion, and they haven't thought about it at all. And they're just like, this is the opinion of people I like, so it's my opinion now. I see it.
Yeah.
And I guess you can't like prevent that really, because even I see that sometimes. Like I'll see like in responses to like anytime I tweet about like Halo or something, like I'll see like one of my opinions like thrown like verbatim, and it's like I guess it just happens like when you're like kind of known for critiquing a thing, because I have like a Halo reputation now.
Right.
So like
when you're influential, people want to like they do get inspired by your words.
Yeah.
And like say there to me it's like it makes sense or it doesn't. It doesn't matter who the fuck it comes from. You know, I don't care how much I like you or dislike you. I could think you're a terrible human being. If you say something that makes sense, I'm like, oh shit, well, they're right. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Like
what's the name of that creature, that guy we were talking about, that fucking internet dude you talk about that's just a monster and he does fuck shit for no reason? I forgot his name.
Wait, who? That sounds like so many people.
That's so many people.
You told me. You were talking about Boogie. You were talking about Boogie, and he was like some other dude that's like
Frank
some
Castle?
Dude. Not
Are you talking
Frank
about that guy
Castle.
that was fucking with them?
No, not Frank Castle. It was some other dude who's just a monster. He just tweets fuck shit. He did something involving a girl that was like super fucked up, and people know about it. And no one's
Ethan
done anything
Ralph?
about it.
Oh, are you talking about Ethan Ralph?
Holy shit. That man's the devil. That man is. I sat down one night and I went on a wormhole through YouTube, and Ethan Ralph, like no joke, no cap, like I'm not even kidding, I'm not even exaggerating. He's one of the worst people that has ever graced this planet. Like he sucks. He's shit. But if he came out with some objective, like, hey man, maybe you guys should wear your mask because you'll be preventing the spread of this disease that can mutate, I'll be like, fuck, he's right. He sucks though.
Well, there's that.
You can't take it away from that, right?
Yeah, there's that classic image of like like the news report from The Onion or whatever. It's like heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point or whatever, and it's a picture of that bald guy that looks like eerily like Tim Pool kind of, but like without a beanie. I don't know, man. It's. I guess I only bring that up because it's like we're talking about Fantano and like, you know, the fact that like a lot of people just kind of like regurgitate whatever he thinks. It's not necessarily his fault. Like he's giving his opinion on music.
It's not his fault at all.
That's literally his job. He's famous, so people will like, you know, regurgitate that shit. But it is unfortunate that people like just kind of do that, you know, because I feel like one of the most satisfying things about being alive is just like formulating your own kind of view of things. And it's just it makes me sad to see people just sort of copy.
Young people. It's young because like
I guess younger people are trying to figure shit out.
That like, because obviously we did it too. When we were younger, we had our parent views, you know, until we went somewhere and we got our fucking minds blown about how much different X was here opposed to how it was when we were at home, you know. So that's just how it works. But it's also really sad when there's a lot of like adult people who don't have their own perspectives at all. They just have like, I call them interneties, people that are just dwelling the internet, and then their personality is this like the internet.
Yeah,
those
it
are
just
like
makes it so much easier
damn.
though to go through life without having your own opinions, right? When you just skate, you just kind of just flow through things. You hear things, you gravitate towards it. I mean, it's the same reason why like horrible information just gets spread so quickly. You don't care about actually thinking about what do I personally think about this, and if you're dumb to it, you know, instead of going to your favorite person to learn, which is the worst problem. This is the biggest problem we're having right now. Oh, I don't know enough about this. I'm going to listen to my favorite political pundit to learn about science. And you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And then
What?
same thing happens with like Fantano, where he doesn't like a band. Like he does not a big fan of one of my favorite bands, Between the Buried and Me. And so why go to Fantano for that when you know he's going to have negative things to say about it? And it's like, somebody who is a fan of it, I want to hear their interpretation and see what they think. And if they have a very differing opinion, where it's like, I don't like this album, it's like, oh, that's strange. Normally you think they would, so now it's interesting. Now it's an interesting perspective.
It's like it's almost the same thing with like it kind of reminds me a little bit of like video game reviews too, where it's like I don't want to know necessarily what, like I don't care what a Madden fan has to say about like a Halo game. You know what I mean? Like that's not a valuable opinion to me, because he might like at most he'll be able to say like I like it or I don't, or like, you know, but it's not gonna be as interesting as like going to like somebody who's like actually like really well. That's the reason why because Fantano doesn't like Rise Against either. He's never even covered him. Like he doesn't even care. It's like just, which is fine, you know, fair. But I know, at least in my head, just like, all right, well, that's the framework that he's coming at music from. So I know like how much to put, or how much weight to stack onto like certain opinions versus others. Because I feel like the biggest point about like finding a critic on the internet or anywhere, like one of the most important things you can do is just kind of understand their tastes and look at it from that angle. Like there's some people that I know on YouTube who do game reviews, who I don't agree with them on everything, but the things I do agree with them on, I'm able to like, okay, I know he feels this way about this genre, and I feel a similar way about that genre, so I'm going to see what he says about this thing that's also in the same genre, and that'll be a more valuable critique to me than like the Madden guy doing it.
Yeah,
you know,
for me, it's more or less I get the middle ground where I get like. I always this is my thing. I have a very particular like in things, right? So what I do is I have myself and I give like my very much so like deep thoughts about something, and then I go to someone who is very neutral, which very often for me is my girlfriend. My girlfriend is the most neutral person ever. She doesn't give a shit about any things I care about for the most part. So like I go and like I play something and I do something. I'm like, all right, what do you think of it? And she's like, oh, this is stupid, or this is pretty cool. I like it. And it usually goes from like, I kind of judge how good it is based on both of our tastes. Or I go from like someone that hates it, someone that likes it, and then I try to like point and pick between which views do I think are most real. That's what like when I was younger, when we were learning about politics and in school proper, our teachers were like, you're supposed to go to things that are very right and very left and just like compare notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when you do that, you go there and you find out that like they agree on a lot of shit, but you never hear about the shit anyone agrees on. You just hear about dumb shit.
Well, yeah, because you hear both sides lying about each other, and like they're both going to say, like at some point, both of them are going to say the same thing that they can't lie about, and you go, all right, well that's true, you know. And then you piece together this like weird. It's this almost like line. This line of truth where it's like, all right, that's the true shit. So I'm gonna look at these other things on my own time. I used to do that when I had way more time, but now I just don't care. But somebody wrote in about this exact thing.
Do that though. People do that. Like get rounded information that you're gonna like take from. Don't just listen to one group.
Totally.
Because that's dangerous. That is literally bad. Because what happens when you hear the thing you want to hear all the time, you're not aware of anything else going on.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
So yeah, somebody actually wrote in kind of about this. He goes, "Hold on. There's a bug on my screen." That's his name. Hello to the world.
Oh, really?
Hello to the two people who made it to record today. Bit of a heavy question today. It seems like it's nearly impossible to care about anything these days. I know you guys talked about how just about any opinion will have you that would have been normal years ago will get you bombarded today. So it feels like the only response is apathy to the majority of news. Aside from the obvious opinions when it comes to things that hurt others, are there any strong opinions that you guys feel are worth keeping regardless of the current climate? Or should we all just drift into total indifference? Keep up the funnies, boys. We just kind of talked a lot about this, but like, I don't know, just say, feel what you feel, but as long as it's like really what you're fucking feeling, you know?
Yeah, I feel like apathy is like the reason why we're in such a shitty mess right now.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Apathy is dangerous, bro.
So it's like, you know, and then there's the other side of it where the people that are so passionate about stupid shit, that sucks. But at the end of the day, those people, if you actually sit down and talk to them, some people can be reasoned to if you don't yell at them. If you actually just like say something, there's some stuff like I every once in a while, like when you catch people in the real world and you talk to people about things and they're not like at a fucking protest or something like that where they're there to fight, you know, shit ideas can be shared. So I think like sometimes in the right setting, you do want to say how you feel and about some shit that may otherwise be controversial to put out on Twitter or fucking in a YouTube video. Like say, I talk about how my audience is fucking like, it's very diverse to the point where I can just put out a lot of stuff that it's highly, talked about. And then it's like, if I shit on something specifically, then a bunch of people will fucking downvote it and shit. And I'm just like, that's stupid. But because I feel like I'm being very consistent with what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, it is what it is. I'm like, hopefully there's some people that are going to listen. They're going to take heart to some of this stuff that I personally don't think is controversial, but I understand what the dude's saying. Like, nowadays, there's certain things you're like, oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't know. Like,
yeah,
like,
but also,
whatever,
I also want to say, like, just like fucking, don't feel like you have to contribute if you don't have anything to contribute. I feel like a lot of people say shit just because they feel like they have to say something, but they don't have any idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's totally fine to just be like, I don't know anything about this. Like, it's totally valid.
No, you're right. Like, I do want to say one thing that I like say about, like, not everybody has to know everything. Like, for an example, there's people that are experts in certain fields. Like, you have doctors, you have this, that. Not everybody needs to be as highly skilled or as educated as those people. So, like, when it comes to politics or something like that, not everybody needs to be fucking like a genius and need to know every single thing of what's happening. Like, it's just know enough to get by. You should at least know what the fuck's happening. But it's not like, if somebody's asking you about, like, what did you think about General X, what he did here, and all, they're just like, what are you talking about? Like, this foreign policy shit? Like, I don't know enough. Like,
dude,
you don't need to know everything.
Dude,
no one really understands foreign policy, bro. People talk shit about that all the time, and it's like, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's just brown people being killed. That's all it is. That's all you need to know,
bro.
really.
But
You've
dude,
been doing that forever, bro.
But like, dude, I've seen so many like debates and videos of people being like, what do you think of, General Abernathy and his and his
ass.
What do you think of General Abernathy and his plan for the Middle East? And people will just be like, yeah, you know what? I don't agree with everything that he's doing, but I feel this way and this way about foreign policy. And it's like, dude, this person, General Abernathy's not a real person. It's a fictional fucking made up person, and you couldn't just say, I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They have to pretend like they know.
Fucking time.
It's just like, what is it? What is it? The thing that Vosh is Alden's number or something. I saw a couple of clips of him being like, "Are you familiar with Alden's number?" or whatever. And it's just this bullshit thing. And it's like, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Yeah. And it's like, just say I don't know. It's so hard for people to just say they don't know, and it's astounding.
Because everybody. But this is my thing. I think people, because the internet exists, I think people feel like if you're dumb with the internet existing, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're dumb forever.
You're really fucking stupid, So what happens is that also it's the new in thing to care or be versed in politics or all this dumb shit. Like, everyone's a music critic now. Everyone tells you this isn't a good the amount of times I've spoken to people and I've talked to them about like certain characters from Things, and like, I don't feel like that character is very real. And I'm like, bro, this man flies, shoots lasers out of his hands, and like lifts planets. He's not supposed to be real. But like, you hear that all the time. And I'm like, what? Like, everyone's a critic now. Because everyone has the person that puts out videos about their opinions about all these things, and they listen to it and they're like, I want to be like that. So everyone knows everything about everything. Everyone's well versed about all this bullshit. But all that's happening is that people are becoming less and less versed in stuff. They're just better versed in clicking a video about someone who they like their opinions of. They're
really good at saying a lot about things they haven't really thought much about. It's the whole. I think CinemaSins did that. To be real, like I think CinemaSins like ruined like an entire generation of people. Where it's just like, this lighting isn't coming from the sun in this shot. And it's like, the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Yeah. What do you mean? What is stupid? And he'll do it with like, he'll nitpick the shit out of movies, and it's like, why? And now everybody does that. And there's some people who do it like well. Like, I'm not saying that content's like inherently like bad or whatever. Like, obviously, like Elvis the Alien's a friend of ours who he reviews movies all the time, and he's great. But
he's funny about it.
But he's also funny, yeah.
he's not there to just tear things down. He's
Yeah,
there to have fun and watch a silly movie and tell you the silly parts of it. But like a lot of people go into things being like, oh, this is automatically like today we were talking about I was streaming and we were talking about Destiny and how they got rid of all of the early year one stuff in Destiny. And people are complaining about it, and it's like, bro, if you didn't do the year one stuff in Destiny, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. Like you're not telling me that game is 5 years old now.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're gonna go and run and do the year. Oh, let me go do the Leviathan. You're not gonna do the Leviathan. You're lying to yourself, bro. Why? It's like if you played fucking 2K10, you're like, oh my god, my 2K10 disc broke. It's like, bro,
you're not
you
gonna
didn't even know where that was.
I will be honest.
You didn't know what that was.
When I heard the horrible fucking acting in 2K15, I was like, fuck, I want to play this so badly, but you can't.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's just for like, that's such a outlier. It's such an outlier.
It's a very specific. I find that like most people, they hear about that, right? Like the Destiny thing was actually a big deal. I remember it was like on a lot of like it was on Kotaku and IGN. It's like Destiny, Bungie getting rid of like a bunch of levels and like a full campaign and like a bunch of like planets or whatever the fuck from year one, and people were complaining about it because it's like, hey, I paid for that content, you know, I paid for that, it should be in the game forever. But like all the people who were complaining about it were people who were not still playing, at least as far as I saw, because everybody that I know that plays was like, Jesus Christ, finally, like that game was like 150 gigs or some shit with all that shit in it. And it was all just stuff that was like in there for years that we had seen, like everything in it. And like, it's a live service game. You're not getting any new shit out of that. So it's like, when they took that out, there was a big deal, but not from the community. It was just from outside people who all they saw was content being taken out of a game that you paid for, which, fair on paper, is like not a great thing. But in context to the people who actually give a shit, you know, that meant so little to me. It's hilarious.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was like, good.
Are we getting new subclasses? Are we getting new guns? Like, that's what I care. I didn't care about, oh man, I can't do Altar of Stars anymore. I did that shit one time and I was like, this is stupid.
I don't even know
I
what
never
that
went
is.
back to that. That was like one of the raids on the Leviathan.
Yeah, we won't get too deep into Destiny shit here because I don't want to do that. But I don't know. The point is, you're all probably the worst. So
honestly,
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Anyway, Cowboy Bebop.
I can't respect you.
Cowboy Bebop is a thing that exists now on Netflix. They did a live action adaptation. I actually don't. So do we know? Is this a show or a movie that they're doing?
I'm assuming it's a movie, just like they've been doing with anime.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming it's that.
I can't imagine that it would be a show. It'd be so redundant.
It's a movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's probably a movie because I mean, what have they done? They did Full Metal
Death Note.
Alchemist. They did Death Note.
That's so weird.
Or where L was basically fucking Tom Sweeney.
He was not me, bro. Chill.
Yeah, he was. He was totally.
No, he was not. L was something different. L was like a Devil Wears Prada fucking listening to fucking like
no,
I'm not.
They fucking studied you, dude.
I'm not a seam kid, bro. Like that's like some guy that like fucking had a good life and then like fucking went to fucking Zoomies and stopped there.
To Zoomies.
So
I don't know, man.
So guys, it is a show. It is a series.
Oh, no way.
So first episode date November 19th, and I'm seeing another article here that says, what the fuck? Cowboy Bebop Netflix series puts own spin on original. So it's a series. I did not anticipate.
That's way better actually.
Probably.
It usually works out better when series happen. It usually ends up being a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, live action anime still kind of never works, but you know. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. This thing has been trending recently because they put out the intro. That was trending earlier this month too because like they released cast photos and everybody thought it looked silly because of course it does. It's a fucking live action anime. Something about like the female character not wearing the clothes from the original, but it's like I don't care enough about it.
She could be wearing less, but I mean, hey, respectfully.
Yeah, they didn't really try. Like they said, like, "Hey, we tried," but it's like you didn't try really, which is fine. Whatever, not a big deal. But it was trending this week because the intro to the show, to this new Netflix series, came out. And it's a live action intro. It's a recreation of the original from the fantastic anime series. And a lot of people kind of hate it on Twitter anyway, but I don't know, I was watching it earlier and it seems fine. Like
It's pretty dope, honestly.
It seems about as good as, I mean, I want to say as good. Somebody definitely could have made it better, but it's not near, I don't know, like the way people were talking about this on Twitter were talking about it's like, it's a fucking travesty. And I'm like, I don't know. This is way more faithful than anything I've seen.
Did they not see Death Note? Death Note was disrespectful, bro. I don't even like Death Note like that. That show screams like angst and edge and shit. I'm like, oh my god, ew, I can't do this. But like, god, fuck, they got that shit wrong, bro.
Yeah. Death Note was
really wrong.
Death Note was bad. Although Willem Dafoe was in it and he was Ryuk, and those were the best parts, even though he was out of focus.
That was crazy that he actually agreed to even do that.
He said yes to that.
He was the best part of that movie, like without a shadow of a doubt. But what's sad about that too is that I feel like that could have been a really good one, because Death Note is really just the concept of the Death Note. It doesn't even really have to be about like Light and Kira and like anything. Like you could really make a live action Death Note about any set of characters as long as the Death Note is present and Ryuk is there, and it would be like a great show, because that's kind of the whole point, right? Is that the note like circulates, like
it circulates. But the thing is that like within the story, you kind of realize that like L as a character was always kind of a megalomaniac. You know, he was always kind of that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of exemplified the kind of person
L?
he was.
Wait, L or Light?
Light Yagami is the main. Light was always kind of a megalomaniac, you know? So it kind of gets exemplified by him, but I would like the idea of it being like from a different character, like a person in the middle of bumfuck nowhere that gets it, and he's like, what should I do with this?
Yeah.
But, because it could be, that's a cool concept.
I would like the idea of, I just got to say this real quick.
Yeah.
I think Gordon Ramsay with the Death Note would be an amazing show.
Could you imagine he writes niggas, period, just niggas in general, and then people start dying, and then white people start dying too, and it's like, was he technically a nigga? And shit starts getting wild. He writes all black people.
And in a cruel twist of fate, he's 1/8 black.
And he's like,
oh no, I have no idea, I'm a nigga. God damn it, I'm a fucking Negro. I'm a nigga. God damn it.
He says it really loudly as he collapses on the ground dying, because he finally understands that he kind of can say it.
They're fucking shooting. They're shooting an episode of Hell's Kitchen and fucking like action, and then he's like, "God damn it, I'm a nigga," and then he just dies.
Yeah, he fades away like the Avengers.
Like people in Kingdom Hearts. People in Kingdom Hearts turns to dust.
Everyone's so fucking confused.
Everyone's so confused.
Gordon Ramsay, like like an angry celebrity with the Death Note, is like a Black Mirror episode. You know what I mean? Like, or like that's just absurd enough with dire enough consequences that's like a really terrible Black Mirror episode from like the latest season. Like, celebrity chef finds a book that can kill people. You know, it's like, because Black Mirror has always been just kind of like, you know, what if Twilight Zone was like less clever?
Yeah, I saw a few episodes of that. Like some dude fucks a pig and something else happens. Yeah, I was like, okay, I get it.
I'm niggas. I
like how it jumped to that. Like I've never thought of him being racist, but I mean
he's loud and angry, so like that's not far from, you know.
Oh, like, you're thinking of the Fuhrer. You're thinking of the Fuhrer of fucking Germany and during World War II. You're talking about that guy, right?
Screaming the N-word. I can imagine him. You could.
Yeah.
You can imagine Hitler using the N-word.
Look at man. So a lot of fucked up shit has happened. And look, let's not make Gordon Ramsay racist. Let's back up a little bit.
No,
But,
we might
back
talk into reality, knowing us fucking talking into fucking happening.
I like the idea of him being an abusive psychopath. I love that.
But like
I
only
like him-
psychologically abusive, never physically touches people. But he outlines people though. He outlines them though. And he's like, "You have no clue how much you hurt me."
I like how would he psychologically? How would he use the Death Note? How could he? What does he do?
He
with
would.
it?
You know what he would. You know what he does.
Pets.
He writes down the names of like famous restaurant owners, right, and then takes ownership of their restaurants. So he becomes like this like food emperor. Like he becomes the god of food basically.
Oh my god!
Because he owns everything.
He owns
And then he has to make,
restaurant.
and then he has to make like, because there's like antitrust things that like, oh, you can't own this many fucking fast restaurants or whatever, and it's like, oh damn it, and he gets this other restaurateur to pose as like, you know, under him as like a shadow corporation kind of, knowing that like I can kill you at any moment with this Death Note. You're gonna buy these, you're gonna take ownership of these restaurants, but you're gonna answer to me. Your profits go to me, and if you disobey me, I'll kill you with the Death Note. And he just creates this huge food empire where he is the sole fucking profiteer of all food on the planet of the Earth.
He's Captain Food.
Yeah.
He's Captain
Every
Food.
restaurant is a variant of Hell's Kitchen. It's like Hex fucking kitchen hell.
Hex Cocina.
He's
The
fucking
Hex Cocina.
he's fucking Captain Kitchen or Captain Cuisine or whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Captain
I'd love
Cuisine.
it.
That's Kid Cuisine's Fine Revolution. Captain Cuisine.
I think that'd be
Somehow
a great
he-
episode of that show.
I would watch the shit out of that. I would watch the
wouldn't.
shit out of Hell's Kitchen if he got the Death Note. That would-
Gordon
that would be the
Ramsay,
fucking best show ever.
an immortal Death Note wielding Gordon Ramsay. He kills himself and then kills other people. He blows his head off, comes back in an hour with the Death Note and asks, "Excuse me, what's your mother's maiden name?" It's like, Gloria Powell. "Oh, thanks, bloke." Writes it down in front of you. "Get ready for that call, bruv. Make better poster." And walks away.
No. That's not how he sounds. He doesn't sound like that.
Make better poster.
You can do his voice all right. I can't do his voice. Any British guy, any fucking
Just anyway.
like, "Hi, I'm Gordon Ramsay. How you doing, mate?"
That's
Anyway.
Australian.
I got
Anyway.
the Death Note.
I got myself the Death Note.
I got a Ramsay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what a Death Note is, mate? You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. You want some
I'm
food? I
Gordon
cook it for
Ramsay.
you.
Yeah, baby.
This is not
Jam.
this is not good to listen to for anybody.
This is disrespectful. When I know we have a sizable amount of British fans too, and they're just like,
Yeah, we
these
do.
fucking freedom.
Oh, is that you, real glove? How you doing,
Real
mate?
glove.
All right. Let's fucking calm down.
Shagadelic,
Let's
baby.
move
Yeah.
on. Let's move forward.
Disrespect.
The point is that Cowboy Bebop looks fine.
It looks totally fine, mate.
I don't know
It
how
looks
we got
totally
here
fine.
from there. but,
Listen
like,
here, bro. There's nothing wrong with it.
Look, it's not going to be.
Bro,
Look. This is not going to be a good show. Like, I really don't believe it. But just because, you know, I feel like people have like predetermined assumptions of like every facet of something just because they think that the final outcome might not be good. You can look at that show and understand, yeah, it's a live action fucking anime. It's not going to be that good. But you can also look at the intro and be like, it's not a bad attempt
It's
at
charming.
doing that. It
Oh,
could
that was
be
kinda cool.
infinitely worse. And in my opinion, it's a little campy, and that's kind of charming in some weird way. Granted, it's Netflix, and they got a billion, dollars. So I don't know why it's, could have been better. But whatever, who cares? The original show will still be there. If there's anything I've learned from, this past decade of mediocre Halo games, it's that, the original thing will still be there. So don't fret.
Yeah,
My
and
thing is
also,
this.
I also want to say, if it bothers you that much, and I mean, if it bothers you that much, don't fucking watch it.
Yeah,
it
don't
really,
watch it.
no, like honestly, don't watch it. That's what I've done. I'm not recommending it to anybody else. It just yourself. If you hate it so much, just yourself, then yeah, like why even waste your time being angry as shit? Just like there's the original, like you said, Chris. Just fuck off, mate. Just fuck off.
Fuck off, mate.
Bugger.
Fuck off, mate. Fuck off. All I'm saying is this, dude. If I thought Castlevania was gonna be bad, and
That's
I was
true.
pleasantly surprised. So I look ridiculous. I'm gonna turn on the lights. It looks like a fuck. It looks like I'm being
like it,
attacked by
Count Nigula. I like it.
Count Nigga. It's
Like, it just-
dark in here.
It's very ghoulish.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. I'll be right. I'm gonna turn my light on.
It's so
Looks like
blue.
he forgot. He like forgot that his fucking webcam's on. He's about to beat off and shit. Like
It looks
it's all
like
just
it
dark.
does. It looks like one of those videos. It looks like a fucking rave. But
you can see his fucking toilet and shit. Someone's
damn,
gonna walk back there and like fucking take a shit and stuff while you're streaming and stuff.
This one fucking fly is like harassing me.
I'm back, and there's like color.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's your toilet, man. Looking, I can see the stains all over it from here.
There's no stains. It's just a cover on it.
that's one big stain.
The cover.
What are those? Are those like dildos on the sides of the what is that? There's
Those
like
are my
these
pus-
things sticking up that you
That's
would like
my
fucking.
that's my plunger and then the thing to clean the toilet bowl.
That is no.
Oh,
That's
oh.
I see what you're talking about. It's like a little thing that sticks up out of the seat.
Like-
What that is that so like you know how you normally sit on the toilet with it open so you can shit inside of it. That is to
Yeah.
let you know it has like a little penis
A big
thing
like little
that goes up your rectum to let you know that hey watch it buddy, it's closed. You know, so that way you can be like, oh shit, and then you could lift
so
it
you
up
don't
and then
accidentally shit on the fucking lid.
yeah. But you know how that happens sometimes.
Such
Yeah,
just
you know,
a
someone thought that
primate
was
shit.
some genius thought of this
Yeah.
preventative idea.
He's like, look at this, guys. Isn't this a good idea? And everybody's like,
Someone went on fucking Snark Tank, and then Mark Cuban was like, "I will give you $1 billion to
I will
fucking
give you,
start this right now."
I'll give you every dime. I'll give you every dime I have to start this.
Hello, Mark Cuban. I am seeking $200,000 and 15% equity into my company. And it's just a toilet lid with a dick on it.
With a dick, a big ass
That's fucking genius.
dick.
I'm gonna sell the fucking Mavericks so I can give you the finances to fund this.
He's literally like, hello, Mark
Fuck
Cuban.
this team.
I require 75% equity, and I'm willing to sell you 4% of my business if you give me this money. And Mark Cuban's like, I'll go 2%, 98% equity. It's just like,
Jesus Christ. What a greedy son of a bitch.
oh,
man,
what
that's
kind of, he's just willing to get, he's like, I don't even want anything. Just change the world.
Yeah.
He gives him a check.
I will give you $10 million, 0% equity. Make this real. I want to be attached in the history books for this
Yeah.
invention.
There's going to
Just
be a
call
time
it
in
the
the
mark.
future. There's
Just
going to be
call
a
it
time
Mark.
in the future where people are going to wonder how.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
gonna
want to
be
be
in the
there.
history books. It's gonna be Tesla, Edison, Cuban, and for these respective inventions.
I'm fucking.
Anyway, let's move on to some questions.
Is Mark Cuban Cuban?
Huh?
Is he Cuban?
No, his name is Mark Cuban.
That would be really weird. Like I
He
know,
better
like
be.
some black people that have the last name White, and you know, I'd be like, oh
Yeah.
wait,
Well,
are you? What's the deal?
I
Why
know
aren't you
black-
white?
Okay, I know.
Why
black
aren't you
people who are
fucking
named,
white?
Like, is he? He might be Jewish. I feel like he might be Jewish.
Mark Cuban? I don't
feel like he
know.
might be Jewish. Or
Hey
he's
man,
Russian.
we're treading down dangerous territory with you accusing
Mark
him.
Cuban
something like that.
ethnicity.
Yeah, Mark
he's
Cuban-
Russian.
He's a
Is he?
Jewish working class, whatever the fuck that means. What the
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure he
Russian.
is. I'm sure he's that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
working
working class. Yeah.
Working class.
Mm-hmm. Working
I
class.
just typed in Mark Cuban gay, and like the first thing that pops up is, am I a homophobe? I don't know why.
Yeah. Mark Cuban asks, am I a homophobe? Texas Monthly, January 21st, 2013.
What did he do?
From a
He's,
Jewish
like,
working class
beating up gay
family.
people.
Am I like my good friend, what's his face, who was in Ted? Mark
Wahlberg?
Mark
Dog,
Mark
bro.
Wahlberg, the king of all Vietnamese.
He became king because he beat all of them.
Yeah, because he beat him in combat.
He beat every Vietnamese person. And
That's how you.
That's
That's how you become king of. That was the whole war in Vietnam. Was just about like the president at the time wanted to become king.
Like fucking Gwyn from fucking Dark Souls. He beats him and he lights the fire and sits on the throne and he's king.
That's how it works. That's how it works over there for real. I've seen videos. So let's move on to some questions here,
bro. The ascension,
from our wonderful viewers over there at patreon.com/thesnarktank. Remember, you can donate at the appropriate tier. I think $5 gets you a question read on the show, so you can get your questions answered here on our little show here. Let's see. Greasy Reese's malfeasant fetus. Okay, hold on. Greasy Reese's malfeasant fetus. Okay, I understand. It's like alliteration.
Doesn't malfeasant mean festering?
Hello, malnourished pain goblin, phishing scam survival and hatred. Or survivor and hatred.
Oh yeah, I did survive a phishing scam. Yeah,
you did. Do you wonder if video games have already peaked? Be it in general game design, art, or story. Personally, I feel like nothing since has come close to the Scarab fight in Halo. Well, that's subjective. But I guess the general question here is: have video games already peaked? Like, have we already experienced the best generation?
No, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. I mean, dude,
once
VR is perfected, imagine.
Yeah,
imagine. Like, we're not even... No, absolutely not, man.
We still haven't gotten that Spider-Man game that I've been dreaming about for 20 years. Like, the real one, where it's VR and you can, like, really, like, really get into it. We still haven't gotten that yet. So, when we get that, I think we'll be there. But,
yeah, then we're done. Dude. I agree. Once you can't top that.
Imagine playing God of War, but VR, and you're doing that shit. Like, that's, like, there's so much... There's so much more.
Yes, that's when it peaks. Once you're doing all that shit in the way that we want it, the way that we dream of VR being, then you can't get any better than this. Sure.
I will say though.
No. Then there's be more elaborate VR schemes, and it'll be better.
Yeah.
There's always more. There's always more we can get. Things can always be improved, for the most part.
Yeah, without a doubt. I will say though, I do think that there's some truth to the fact that like PS3 360 time was a very special time. There's a lot of like really crazy, like amazing games that came out in that period to the point where like PS4 and Xbox One and like Xbox and PS2, like those sandwiching generations. I don't really know if it really compares. Like, I don't know if there's really any PS4 or like Xbox One native game that's like as good as like the majority. Like, we had like Portal, we had like Super Mario Galaxy, we had fucking like the peak of Halo, we had like Gears of War when it was good, like there's a lot of like amazing shit on the PS3 and Xbox 360 and even Wii, really, if you want to include.
I go further back. I think the most insane generation, not for actually like video quality, but the SNES, because the SNES and a PS1, if I'm not mistaken, or SNES and the Sega, like, as like games, those are the foundation of video games. Like, that's like where people got the idea, like, oh, yeah, no, we'll take this higher. We'll just go bigger and better in games.
That was a great foundation, and that was a great place to start, without a doubt. But the reason why I think 360 and PS3 specifically like are like is a very key generation as far as like the best shit I feel like came out of the generation is because we had enough practice with 3D at that point to make really good shit in 3D that still to this day probably doesn't even really need the remastering that a lot of PS2 and PS1 games kind of need to be playable now. Like like I love Crash and Spyro like with all my heart, but they needed some TLC. And even if you go back and play like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that's a beloved game, but that game plays like the worst fucking
looks
thing.
Like dog shit too.
It looks horrible, bro.
Yeah.
It looks like fucking ass.
but like the 360 PS3, you had like Dead Space, Skyrim, Fallout 3, BioShock, fucking the Uncharted,
Mass Effect,
like all these like crazy. Like I'm just looking at my shelf right now, and it's like
Yeah,
that generation
I
sticks
agree.
out to me as like
I understand exactly what you're saying. I
yeah.
totally agree.
Whereas like PS4, what do you
I
have?
respect that generation.
God of War
Because
was-
all they did was they're just perfect. Like you said, they're perfecting what was already been like. What's already been laid out. It's like here it is, and now we're just getting better at it.
It's just higher fidelity versions of things that we got in that Dead Space, you know, like the incredible shit, and a lot of new things too, like a lot of new IP, kind of Mass Effect, dude. Like it's an incredible generation to the point where like I understand where this question is coming from. Because I think that was the strongest generation. Before that, I think SNES was the strongest generation, like without a doubt, like SNES period, when you had like these incredible, like 2D games that are still really really playable, like without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
N64, PS1, I have a soft spot for, but that was a rough one. There's a lot of classics there, but also you have shit like I don't know, Glover. I don't know.
Glover was hot. Glover was hot, man.
That game was dog shit, bro. That game was absolutely cum, bro.
I wanted Glover to finger me when I was a child, you know.
Yeah, I thought Glover was that fucking hamburger helper thing, man.
It totally just is. It actually just is. It's a fucking glove. Wait, what is actually the difference?
I mean, I don't think there's not much of a difference.
Glover was such a stupid idea. Glover was such a stupid game, bro. Oh my god.
Oh, so Glover has 4 fingers.
Glover is very different.
Right.
Glover is very different
That's
from
right.
the fucking hamburger helper thing.
I mean, he's
Hamburger
more
helper thing's
similar.
more of a
He's more
clown.
similar to Master Hand. But I understand. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't think we've reached the best. I think we've reached the best. The best generation that we've had in a while was the 360 PS3 generation. I think it's going to be a while before we get to a generation better, to be real. But I think once we have that VR shit in place, because we're already seeing incredible shit with VR. Like Half-Life Alyx was awesome. Boneworks is awesome. I think they just announced actually Resident Evil 4 VR is coming to that fucking Oculus, and that looks awesome. That looks sick as shit.
Yeah, I can't wait to fucking shoot fucking Spanish people. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I don't love 4 like that, but it's probably gonna be fun beating up Spaniards.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be a good time.
You can't even comprehend how excited a virulent racist like me is excited for when they do the same thing with 5.
With 5, oh boy, oh baby.
You know?
There's
Bro,
something
5
about when you
was-
get to the marshlands
Bro,
and you just
5?
slap up those fucking tribal motherfuckers.
Bro, in 5,
It gets
Yo,
personal, man. You get the taser and you just slap them up, dude.
bro, I was in 10th grade when 5 came out. Or I was in 9th grade, and I was like, this is going to lead to some problems. I immediately knew that. Like, the moment I turned that game on, I was like...
That was literally the first time I saw articles about, like, hey, is this shit racist? Like, this is the first, like, in gaming in general. This was the first time I ever saw, and I was like, whoa, what? That, like, I understand where they're coming from, but I'm like, it's unavoidable. They're in fucking Africa. What do you want them to do?
I got it. Like, I got what I was playing. I understand the scenario. You know, like, obviously they're in Africa. But like they did a real good job illustrating how impacted they were and how emaciated some of those motherfuckers were. Like they did some
the
research.
dude with the chainsaw, I was like, come on, man, you could have gave him a little bit of meat.
Bro, that dude was so thin, it was sad, bro.
He was so strong, but he was so emaciated. I'm like, what's going on?
Somebody should make one of those Sarah McLachlan commercials. You remember when they would show the sad dogs and sad children?
In the arms of the angel.
Fly
away.
And it's this fucking
And I'm like, I'm
crazed
fucking
African
eating
zombie.
dinner. I'm eating fucking dinner. It shit comes on at 6 p.m., dude.
That
They
shit
come
be
on
on while I'm
exactly
watching
when you're
Girls
sitting
Gone
down
Wild.
to eat.
Girls Gone Wild trailers would be on, and I'd be like, then I'd see that, and I'd be like,
You get even
those
more
are my
turned on. Like, oh shit.
those are my
what's
brothers.
What's up, Sarah? What's up, Sarah?
Whoa.
I remember when those commercials would come on, I would time it. I knew exactly when they would come on, and I would be like, all right, I'm turning it to channel 50 right the fuck now. And it'll always be like 11:46 or something, like some weird time. And I'd be like, all right, I got like 2 minutes.
Of Girls Gone Wild. Let's just see what's gonna happen. And they wouldn't show anything, but you'd get ideas.
Yeah, the Crash Bandicoot like xylophone shit.
Dun 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 dun, dun, and then fuck it, that piece of shit that owned it. I think he did a bunch of like fucked up bullshit. I can't remember.
Wow,
his name.
really?
I'd imagine.
I know. Shocking, right? Shocking. That guy was a fucking.
I
piece
thought
of
the
shit.
Girls Gone Wild owner was a stand-up gentleman.
Yeah, I thought I once saw him, handing out sandwiches with Sarah McLachlan or something.
Joe Francis.
That's it. Joe Francis. That's it. Because he was in the commercials a lot too.
Yeah.
He wanted to be known.
Yeah, he was just there.
I'm recording these women. I'm doing it. I'm living your dream.
That was my first real introduction to porn, really. Like, I remember seeing those commercials being like, what? Are you telling me that, like, women get naked and I can just see that? Like, I really didn't understand the very idea.
For me, it was Cinemax. I watched Late Night Cinemax one time, and it was actually a really good movie. I forgot the movie, but in my little kid brain, it seemed like a compelling movie.
Right.
It was boobs and stuff, and that also made it more compelling to my mind. And I was like, oh, that's a good watch.
I understood that movies had like sex scenes and stuff in them, Like, I understood like there were movies where like, there'll be a sex scene or whatever, and you'll see like a tit or whatever. But like, I didn't understand that there was an entire genre of content that was just that part. Like that was just like, wait a second, that's all this is? And here I am today.
This movie is a sex scene? All right.
It's pretty cool stuff, man.
You know the thing with the guy that's
Pretty
like
cool
this,
stuff.
with the two decisions on TikTok? And he's just like,
oh yeah.
There's like something over here, something over here. It's like, to watch porn or to watch porn. You just
Yeah, porn.
So stupid.
God bless porn, man.
Oh my fucking god. We were talking about
choose
music
watch
a little
porn.
earlier. So let's jump into a music conversation. We talked about games a little bit already. Why not?
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Yeah.
I love FOV sliders. That's his name, but I also believe that personally.
All right.
Hey, punk rock, metal, and hip hop. What did you fools think of Donda? I quite liked it. There were some misses, but most of it was very enjoyable. Did you guys listen to Donda?
I have not had enough time to sit down and absorb it, so I can't even speak to it.
I like it a lot. I think it's a good album. I think it's I don't think it was done. I think it had there were too many part twos. There was a song with Pop Smoke that was on there that was really like literally like straight up not a finished song. And I was like, dang, Pop is like dead, and they did him like that. But also I heard that like it was released. Like,
well, do you think that's why it was unfinished? Because he's fucking dead?
Well, no, I think he's dead, and like for a song for him to come out like that was like,
I see.
Not
Maybe they should have
mixed.
just left it
they
buried
should
like
just
him.
left it. There was also part twos on it that I didn't like. But I think the
Right.
message of the album is I think it's a really, really good message. And I think it's as a Kanye album, it's much, much better than he's been in a long while. So I really enjoyed it.
Where would you how would you like say he has too many albums to like say go through them all now, but like say your top favorite albums, does it hold up with them at all?
It would be like my favorite album by Kanye West is Graduation, and then after Graduation is like My Beautiful Darkest of Fantasy, and then it's Late Registration. No, then it's College Dropout, and I think 2 below that is Donda, because I like it more than Yeezus. I like it more than Ye, and I like it more than God is King.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
Because I think God is King was because it was a good gospel album.
Yeah,
if you're into
that's
gospel.
the thing. It's very specific. You know,
But this one is gospel and hip hop, so that you can really enjoy
he
it.
probably saw his numbers and he's like, oh, let me not just make Christian music. You know what I mean? Like, let me like go back to actually creating so I could have money too. You know,
money's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a good combination. What do you think of it, Chris? Did you listen to it?
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't.
Did you listen to Donda, Chris?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Chris ain't gonna listen to fucking Donda.
Of course not.
He's not gonna listen to it.
It's good though. It's a good album.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that. I heard a couple, right? Like I heard the opening, which was just Donda over and over again. I was like, this is bad. But then, like, I heard a couple songs and it was like, yeah, they're fine. I do have a theory that, like, I think you're right about the fact that it's unfinished, because there was one song that is, it's a certain amount of time long, right? But right in the middle of that song is where the first part ends, and then the rest of it is like drums. So, like, I think they literally just took the drum track that was supposed to be under the main track and put it at the end, and it's like not actually how the song's supposed to be, because it's like somebody edited it together and it works really well. I can't remember what song it is.
I think you're talking about Jail.
Yeah.
For me,
And,
I heard,
you know,
I saw that edit and I was like, I don't understand. That edit doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, it could fit under the beginning, but it doesn't have to be that. I think it being towards the end was kind of like, it kind of signifying like,
no, but it doesn't make sense that it's near the end,
part.
because it's the exact, like, where it ends. I'm pretty sure, I might be misremembering this, but like where it ends in the song, like where the first part of the song ends, is exactly where the drum begins. And if you cut it and drag it, it's exactly the same. Like, there's no
the same
reason.
length. I think the same length, but I think when the drums kick in is when Jay-Z starts rapping. And I think that's for Jay-Z's parts the drums come in.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I do think it's an unfinished album that was put out without his permission, which I think he said. But, yeah, I think he said that, right?
Yeah, studios can do that, bro. They give you a deadline, bro. And if it's not done by a deadline, they'll just put it out.
I mean, there's definitely, yeah, absolutely, because especially you don't own the master. If you don't own the masters, which whoever he's partnering with, he probably is not just complete master of everything. I'm just assuming. If for something like that to happen, like that's what would have to, have to be something like that.
Which is crazy because of the fact that he's so rich, you'd assume that he would have his own. Like, at a certain point of money, like, I'm not taking money from a studio to do shit. Like, I'm doing this myself, Yeah,
I wonder what the fuck he's doing for, because like you said, he really should own everything. So for anything like that to happen is fucking strange.
He's probably used to like the studio environment. He's probably just like used to doing things a certain way, to the point where it's like he's just comfortable doing it the way that everything's always been done. So he's just continuing to do it. That's the only reason why I could see why somebody that big would still be producing shit under like another person's like, because it's like a different label, right? That's like some random fucking label's doing it.
This one?
Yeah, right.
I know.
That's the implication, right? If somebody else owns his record to the point where they're allowed to publish it when he's not ready, that must mean like a label.
I think it's Universal that was involved in it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Let's see.
That to me doesn't make sense, because it's like
Out of Our Dreams too. What is that?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I didn't listen to it.
That's what it says. The label is. I've never even heard of Getting Out of Our Dreams 2 or the second. Anyone know why this label is Getting Our Dreams 2 on? I guess it's a wait.
So it's
I didn't. Oh my! I'm so stupid. I am so fucking stupid. I didn't know that was an acronym for good music.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! I had no idea. I thought good music was just good. Oh man, that's fucking. You learn some fucking shit every day.
What was the acronym?
It's because it's Getting Out of Our Dreams, which is good. Because I knew he owned good music, and I'm like, what the hell is Getting Out of Our Dreams? That's funny. So it is his shit, but I don't know who's. There's other. If that thing released with him not wanting it released, then there's people involved with that, like probably UMG or something. Like there's probably something like a parent company or something, like UMG or something that I've never cared to look into. So
it's really unfortunate because but it's just when I would make music, if I was gonna make music, I would definitely have 100% control of it. Period. Like I wouldn't let anyone. I wouldn't let anyone touch it now. But I think that's because and it's just if someone as rich as them, I'd be like, oh yeah, I control this entirely. Seems like when I wanted to come out.
Because distribution and everything used to be so difficult now. Back in the day, now fucking there's CD Baby, DistroKid, that Public or whatever. I forgot what the other one's called. But like there's so many ways now you can release albums yourself, and then it'll just be up on all the digital stores. It's pretty fucking.
TuneCore,
awesome.
I think is another one.
TuneCore is one, yeah. And there was the other one. It's like Public. I remember Jonathan recommended it. I just can't fucking remember its name.
Yeah.
But there's one that So but there's so many options. There's so many things you can do now.
So Kingston liked it. I did not listen to it because I'm just not a Kanye person really. But I thought that gospel album was so weird. That was like if Rise Against put out a stand-up comedy album. It was just like why'd you? But like,
Kanye's always been making sort of gospel, like spiritually infused music.
Yeah, but that was too much.
The fact that it was all gospel was just like, this is someone that's
he was
making
having
an
a
album
Sunday
for
worship things. And one of my friends fucking went to that shit. She never gave a shit about Kanye before this, and all of a sudden he's like, he's getting very spiritual. The Sunday worship or music, whatever it was called, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
He did one at the Forum, or he was doing them at the Forum and stuff, and like, oh yeah, that shit was awesome and stuff. I'm like, when the fuck do you start liking Kanye? A very like conservative type person, and I feel that it happens a lot though, right? You're like, fuck this person until they do something I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like it's fascinating.
That's how it works.
We'll move on to this last little question. I figure we'll end on something a little cerebral.
Cerebral?
A little cerebral. Female Rogaden is the superior Final Fantasy, what is that, 14 race, and I will die on this hill. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy.
No one
so
plays
like,
that I think 14 was an MMO. I don't.
14's hella popular actually, but like it's just I don't play that. I don't play
That's 14, right? That's 14 XIV.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'm not. All right.
Yeah.
I don't see Roman numerals a lot, so sometimes I read them. I'm like, wait a minute.
I forgot how to read Roman numerals for a little bit.
When it starts getting to like the L and stuff, I'm like, what the hell is that shit?
L is like 50 or is it 20?
I think it's like 50 or something.
You should never get to a position where you're doing L's. Like just go to a fucking normal number. But anyway, he wrote in. He says, "Hello, troubled troublemakers. First time patron here, long time listener. Wanted to ask how you felt about a dilemma I was given in a game recently. If an evil dictator / leader who was defeated in battle lost their memory and basically became a whole new person, would they still have to be charged for the same crime? This new person that they became is basically the complete opposite and wants to help and be nice." I love the way this is written. But the people still want them dead. Was just curious what your opinions on something like that would be. Sorry if the question is too confusing or big. It's not confusing at all.
So you mean Crow, or you mean literally fucking Revan? Literally those two characters.
And Revan. But how do you? But for real though. But it's a little different though because he's not like literally reincarnated.
I mean, Crow sort of is.
Look, in the fucking real world, you know what the fucking answer is.
Obviously,
you don't get to rape someone and then get amnesia and you're like, oh, I want to fight rapists. Like you don't get to do that. It's not how it happens. You don't get to do it.
That's true. That's very true. Is it exactly fair? Not exactly, but like, yeah, like, I'm sorry, but you did it. You did that. That it may not be the you that's present, but it's the you it's your body. Your cum was left on the scene. It's you, bud. It's you. That baby would be your baby if it was to try to happen. That's you, bud. Like it's really tough.
There's no way. There's no way. Imagine that being a fucking legal defense, man.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Your Honor, I don't remember that. I got amnesia. I am the least rapist person you've ever seen.
I mean, that could lead to a different charge, but he would still probably get charged with a criminal offense.
He would still be in jail for about as long as a rapist would be in jail for, probably.
Because law is stupid and it gets bent in 6 ways to fucking Sunday. But
Look,
like,
if that rapist had a shitload of money, yes, they could probably beat it. They could probably beat that shit. Like,
well,
what did I do?
Bill Cosby got out like this year.
That was crazy.
OJ
And
didn't
that's-
go to jail. OJ won.
Well, that was circumstantial. Totally.
That was
I've-
master out. That's outplaying right there. That's when someone goes for a crossover and you put it around your back through your legs and you go past them, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Look, I'm confident that if all of the racial overtones weren't a thing, he would have been in jail so fast.
Nah, bro, but it was, and that's what makes it insane. That's what makes it unfucking believable. There was so much stacked against him, bro. Rodney King got beat like 6 months prior, bro.
But see,
Like,
that's the thing. It's all circumstantial.
The
He
world
got
was
so
so
lucky.
volatile. No, he got. The world was in such a volatile state for what he was as a creature that somehow him, negative world, and rich black man somehow turned into freedom. Instead of it being like an ultra bad sentence, it nullifies. It's like with chocolate and peanut butter, and you're allergic to both of them, but somehow you can have them together. It was like one of those things.
Somehow the chemistry just changes.
It just nullifies it.
It just works.
I thought that was fake until I saw a person. I knew a guy that was literally allergic to peanut butter, but while it's with chocolate, he can eat it. And I saw him eat peanut butter one time having a reaction, and then I saw him eat a Reese's peanut butter cup, and he was fine. And I've never been so confused.
That's not real.
That's real.
No,
it's an
here's-
inverse reaction.
No,
that shit
hold on.
happens, bro.
Here's what that means. What that means is that the peanut butter in Reese's peanut butter
Is
cups
fake.
is not real peanut butter,
Hey,
which
man.
is fine.
That
That's
can happen
tot-
though.
What?
Inverse reactions, like things can nullify other properties of things, therefore you won't react to it.
Not that much.
I mean, it's real. I don't know the scale of which how real it is,
It's
but that's a real
to
thing.
there's definitely certain chemicals that once you merge it with something, it can become like non-toxic or something. It'll change the properties of it. I don't think chocolate and peanut butter is a thing though. With that,
I don't know,
I
but
don't-
he was fine, and I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Kingston, if I
Nope.
coated a block of lead in chocolate, you're still eating lead.
I think it might be relative to the two things they are, not exactly like one
I
thing.
think it's more
and
to do with
other.
the fact that that's just not real peanut butter. Because
It's just
I
not
remember,
real. It's synthetic peanut
I remember I had a dog like when I used to live in Yonkers, like my first dog. Like all my friends called her Jones for some reason. This fly is like flying in front of the camera like an asshole. She got up on the kitchen table once and ate an entire bouquet of chocolate, an entire thing. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, "This dog's gonna fucking die. This is a dead dog." I'm looking at a dog that doesn't know it's gonna die, and I know it's gonna die. But nothing was done. Like her stomach wasn't pumped. We didn't know what had happened, and she was fine. And it was because that wasn't real chocolate.
It's not enough
It's
cacao.
like when
in that
something's
shit.
called chocolatey. Like if something's called chocolatey, something it doesn't say chocolate. That means it's not real. It's not enough chocolate to be called chocolate.
chocolatey.
That's why it's called chocolatey.
It's like
And
it's
it's
like
like-
American cheese. It's like it's like 50% cheese or something like that.
It's a 50-cent potato.
they
It's like
call
a
it,
bunch of potato in American
So they
cheese.
call it like pasteurized cheese or whatever. Whatever they call it. It's just not. It's 50%. I think it's
Yeah.
50%. But it's not like it's like the other parts like plastic or some people suggest.
Or what is that, like
But,
cheese product? You
This
know?
is
Yeah,
cheesy.
like that's what it is. Something like that. You got to put product with it. Yeah, you're right. It's something like that. Yeah, I feel like that's why your friend could eat Reese's peanut butter cups, because if you just gave him fucking peanuts and then smothered like cacao on it or something, like
Cacao.
he's gonna die hard. He's gonna die so hard. He's gonna like his throat's gonna swell up and he's gonna choke to death.
And I'll be like, damn, bro, I thought this was gonna work, but now you're passing away. That's
Like,
crazy.
You gave him a
Imagine someone
milkshake
being
to
that.
see-
Imagine someone being so like they're curious enough to risk a life.
I guarantee you that's happened. I
ton.
guarantee you.
We live in a world of maniacs. I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure
Oh,
scientists do it.
Every
My friend
time,
says he's allergic. I don't believe him. And then you slip him some fucking peanuts in his sandwich and kill him.
He
You're like,
dies.
oh, sorry, bro. Sorry, bro.
I thought this would be funny, but it's not funny at all. You're dying. It's like, bro, you'd risk the biscuit just to prove you're right, just to win an argument that you lost in the end, and now you're going to jail for manslaughter. Maybe that's probably homicide too. Actually,
Yeah, homicide too. No, it's definitely manslaughter.
Nah, you meant to do that.
Well, you meant to do. You didn't mean to kill them though.
But you put him in a situation where he could very easily die. You did that.
Same thing when you drive drunk. It's not homicide.
No, it's vehicular homicide.
No, it's vehicular manslaughter. It's like you didn't mean to. Homicide is when you had intent to kill. You did not want to kill that person.
I guess he just died.
You could argue that, like a fucking lawyer can be like, this piece of shit put it in there because he knew it would kill him, and then you could argue that, and then argue death penalty for
death
fucking
penalty. Death penalty. And his last meal is peanuts. His last meal is peanuts.
In your guys' experience, in your guys' experience, do you find that more conservatives are in favor of the death penalty?
Well, I think so. I
don't know.
Isn't southern states the only ones that still do like express ones or some shit?
Right, but isn't it interesting? I don't know. I always find like there's a lot of weird like amusing hypocrisies to like modern politics. Where it's
you're talking about like pro-life, but then they're also pro-death.
Well, but also even just the similar thing of it's like we don't want the government to have too much power, but we'll give the government the authority to kill a human. Like it's. There's a lot that exists with the left as well. It's just like I just thought it was like,
for me, everyone I know that's okay with death penalty is usually people that like don't I don't know, because the death penalty is such a like that's very extreme, like you don't, because the point of incarceration is rehabilitation.
Yeah,
that's the only point of it. That is the point of incarceration.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have private prisons. Otherwise,
that's true.
That's true. That's very true. But the point of incarceration
is cheap labor, domestic cheap labor.
The main point is
it should be the point.
The reason that now the new modern, like, how there's like a sick, like you're sick, and then there's like sick, like you're cool, like it's like that. It's like that, like that's what it's supposed to be. But now it's become this. It's just slavery. It's just slavery,
cheap labor, punishment, and man, and that's like what you were saying about the hypocrisies and all that weird shit, man. It's just people just not thinking about it. That's all it is. And I also, as far as the death penalty, man, the only reason why personally I think it's bad is because of how many people are wrongly sentenced to death.
Bro, like a lot. Bro, like a lot.
There's plenty of people that, like, if there's proof they did it, they don't need to be here. I'm like, there's certain people that don't need to be here. You know what I mean?
I think it would be scarier, right? If what they did was, instead of just, let's say somebody's like a violent criminal, they're a rapist, they're a murderer, and they somehow get out on the street or whatever. They're convicted, but they're just like, all right, listen, we're gonna give you the death penalty, and then they let them go. Because what they're doing now, that would be an amazing system, because what you have now is just a person that has committed so many heinous acts that they're allowed to walk free, but anybody on the planet Earth is allowed to legally murder them and not get in trouble for it.
No, that's the most dangerous.
So dangerous.
That is the most dangerous. That is the optimal dangerous.
What if that guy is but you don't have a good fucking killer, and he just kills so many people trying to kill him?
Like he's free, and he's like, thanks. Because the only thing that can kill me is lethal injection. I can't die through any other means. And he takes a shotgun and he Gordon Ramsays himself, and he's fine.
He's fine.
This is like the third time you've mentioned somebody like fucking shooting themselves in the head with a shotgun and coming back. Did you see something recently where this happened?
I saw a video a long time ago where a guy shot himself with a shotgun. It was really, really horrible. But like, other than that, like it was just, it's really sad. You should watch it, Derek. I'll send you the video tonight. But
I'm not a fan, dude.
You should watch it, bro. It's eye opening. It's eye-opening, man.
Yeah,
or
I
head
stay away
opening.
from those things.
Or mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. That's it.
It's fucking mind-blowing.
It took you way too long to get to mind blowing. But anyway, I think that's gonna be our show. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who wrote in a little question for the podcast right now. If you liked what you heard today, consider supporting us over at patreon.com/thesnarktank. $1 a month gets you early access to every episode and access to a bonus solo episodes. $5 gets you a question read on the show. $10 gets you access to our Discord server. That's one payment and you're in for good. And $25 gets your name dyslexically read at the end of the show, which I will now do. A special note for Nikki Ziggy, whose name does not show up for some reason. But,
Thanks, Ziggs.
We'll keep you in our prayers. Anyway, count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Stoat. Does Sandman come sand to avoid unwanted pregnancies? DEDNCYD. I don't know how to pronounce that. Arcane Furukawa.
Dead inside. It's dead inside.
Oh, I get it. It's written really fucked.
You got that fucking real quick.
Because he came to my he comes to my streams.
Okay,
and it's like,
that makes
dead
sense.
inside. And I was like, oh.
I was about to say, man, I was like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, you literally are dead inside. That's amazing.
Like, have you used that before? Have you?
Because I see NCY next to each other, and like my dyslexia goes like New York City, and it just like it fucks with me. I can't make it through the word. Arcane Furukawa, Shrinkus Funkeldunk, the warlock who is using transversive steps. And $25 gets you a lifelong ban from Israel just for saying "gas the juice," is what he said.
Oh,
so
that's close.
well.
That was close.
That was close.
That's too
but I have
close.
good enunciation. I am looking for Knotfest, but why do I see mascots? I don't know. I think it's a joke I'm not getting. He who nuts loudest and last ain't right, because united we stand, united we come. The immortal words of the council have come. I challenge the other Connor King to a fight to the death. There can only be one. Paraplegics aren't people because people are bipedal. Roller skater, the bipolar masturbator. Grubin sucking on history's fat cock. Stop talking about coronavirus. My Moderna injection sites hurt every time I hear about it. I called the Coast Guard to save my anal virginity. Chris Ray Gun, more like Chris Racism. The Quaalude shot from half court. Ryber 525 and the mystery of the sudden uptick in tomboy appreciation. Jack Kinghoff, racist snake. 10 hours of Spawn saying Malbosia, relaxing sounds for stress relief, meditation, and deep sleep. Derek Sweeney, listen, that's not the real Chris. Don't listen to him. He tied me up in the garage. A Vex simulation gone sexual. Wow. Tell him Steve Dave. Chris Raygun, more like cringe gay cum. Chris, I know you haven't paid taxes in over 5 years. I'm onto your BS. Tubercularized Arthur Morgan. Andre Brooks. Peggy the boy is alt-right. Not gay Ben. I'm not gay. No, really, I'm not. Seriously, I swear I'm not. You have to believe me. Derek, you look like a fucking NWA documentary. Chris Jan's dripping gooch gatch. Derek would fuck the shit out of God to kill him. Bears. If I were an animal, I would be a bear. They're cute. They're cute. Dear Lord, I'm going to hell for this. John Strickland. Limp Sniggins. Mercs 1889. Dank Magician of Chaos. Yes, Derek, it counts as bestiality if you want to fuck Talizar. When in doubt, splooge it out. The First Church of Keith David. Renegade Highway Tires. Just want to hug your face at high velocity. Do I smell a Brappy Patty? Plankton. The femboy begging Derek to clap his cheeks. Sammy and his big titty fishy. What you got on my 40. Okay. Drunken Doulahan. Pre-Roz. Doug Dimma Dumbass. A tiny hentai man. Cum man. The man of cum. Blake 896. Down to Uncle Ben waiting for a revive. That's pretty
Revive
good.
Me!
Revive me!
Revive me! Get me up! Stand me up!
Your camera's just off.
Pretty much, right?
It's not even... It's... Oh my
Where
god.
at,
The
Sweeney?
Epic
Where you at,
Oshawa.
Sweeney?
Future Hendrix. The Messiah of Misogyny. Fucking kill me. Hey boss, announces Lamau. I caused the slick spick to do a gamer rage on camera. Lamau.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
You look
Dude.
like... You look like... You know what you look like,
my
Kingston?
fucking god.
Yeah.
Kingston, you know what you look like?
What?
You look like a thumbnail from like a horror game that Markiplier would have played in 2012.
Oh my god. You owe me,
Friday
Mark.
night at Blackface.
I think it's just called it's some racist horror game. It's called like Afternoon in Atlanta or some fucking nonsense.
Afternoon in Atlanta, and it's just some shit that you're not ready to hear.
Ryan Lucchesi, Chris, I can't believe I can't live outside of a city. I'm a little city slicker, Maldonado. Sloshy Scout, Atrasoni. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. Cute femboy with sexy thigh highs. Tom Sweeney, the atrocious alien fucker. Check out my podcast called How Did We Get Here every Thursday. Ethan Gack, guzzling Chris's cummies. Ooh woo. Keith David's Golden Boys. Paying my black dog reparations via belly rubs. I don't understand.
I look like I look like a neon
like
Spider-Man costume. It looks like it.
You look got beat to shit.
Who, me?
Yeah, your gums are doing that thing where they look kind of like stubby and bloody.
Oh my god, I can't talk to you right now.
Oh my fucking god, it's hellish over here what I'm seeing. Hard Hat Skydiver, the Khajiit that doesn't talk in the third person because
is this infrared?
H.P. Lovecraft. No. Yabba Dabba Domestic Abuse, Alaskan Oilfield Trash, Jordan Peterson's Fat Hog, the Pussy Hat Incident of 2016,
Damn.
Marcus Shorten, Papa Nurgle, Jank Uger, the Re-Education Czar of Xinjiang, Tom's Breedable Mexican Femboy, Murder Ascended, Keith David, the dyslexic that feels Chris's pain, This Is It, The Apocalypse, Whoa, Lobotomized Jesus, patron saint of pillow humpers, Christopher, Pig Black Man Boykin, the only stick I touch while driving is my penis, parentheses, I masturbate while driving.
Good man.
I like the parentheses. I like the parenthetical clarification.
If any women masturbate while you drive, I want to hear that because that would be impressive. You know, because it's easy for a guy to do it, but like if a woman can do it, I props. I just want.
Well, like riding the stick shift.
Well, no, just like finger blasting while they're fucking riding. Can you imagine being on the stick shift while you're fucking driving?
That's the first thing that I imagined. I guess you're just like using your left foot for the brakes and for
the fucking
and then
accelerator.
Your female right foot is in the passenger side, and you're just sitting on the middle.
Yep,
This is so
your
disgusting.
female right foot.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
That would be
females. I'm
impressive
sorry,
as fuck, but
girls. I'm sorry.
I don't know why I said female right foot.
I'm the one apologizing for women as a whole, but I'm sorry.
Yeah,
shut
that's
the
not
fuck
cool.
up, you pussy ass bitch.
It's not cool what we're saying to the female listeners. All
What are
three.
you talking like? Stop acting like women aren't adventurous too. You guys are sexist.
I'm not being sexist at all. I'm just saying that's
You
what he
are.
said. The female foot. He said the female foot. I don't care about her putting her fucking sticks. I don't care. I don't care if there's her body. It's a woman. They don't matter. I mean nothing.
Female foot.
I don't know why I said that. Anyway, lobotomized Jesus, patron saint of pillow hump. I read this already. Okay. First game to ever introduce Rumble feature, Worm Odyssey, Hiroshima Spicy Mushroom, Stitchrup Kema, Dummy Thick Dave, Heartless Wretch, aka the idiot who spends 4 hours trying to find clips of Full Metal Sheen. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. That's a pretty nice cock. 3 Sween Moon hoodie needs to be a thing. Yummy, 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 come inside my tummy. Jackson Absage, Badly Brave, Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager, Ethereum, Chris Gate, my Patreon hunting ass, All Hands on Dick, Arrow, Chris Benoit's album, Ride the Bowflex, Melphis 1, El Culebron, Richter 86, and rounding everything off.
The king. The chosen one.
Haphazard.
There we go.
The king.
My nigga.
Our biggest...
I know his name.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good voice. Anyway.
All right, everybody, give me a sweet orgasm face. Go. No, that wasn't good enough. All right, perfect.
There you go.
You guys
All right,
look gorgeous. You guys look gorgeous.
Fucking little bitch. What a